So Donald Trump is the first president in over 100 years not to own a dog. And with any other person, that would be a red flag for me. But instead, he decided to make the Democratic Party his bitch.
Hello. Welcome to, what is it, episode 46? Something like that. Of Monday Night Bloodbath, where Devil's going to serenade us with some, was that the Eagles?
No, that was Men at Work. Who can it be now? It kind of fit the whole.
For some reason, I thought I was
message.
thinking Hotel California or something, but
no.
So yeah, we've got episode, I don't fucking remember, 46, 48, I don't know. We've got dumb shit going all around. Europe is like burning. Some places literally, some places figuratively.
Yeah.
We've got
God fucking damn it. Fucking
Devil
is turn my phone off.
Popular tonight. We've got so Kel already mentioned, he says I'm 10 years too late to the Civil War. But like, how long until it gets hot? We'll see if it's hot already.
He's saying we're in a civil war right now.
Yeah, he said we've been in a civil war for a decade.
We just don't know it officially.
We've got Trump protecting people from speech. Trump being very anti-First Amendment. And while we continue to bomb other countries and celebrate that. We also have a judge. I believe it's a judge. It's some sort of politician who was arrested for doing bad shit. Finally, something fucking happened. And then we've also got, the main witness for all of the Epstein stuff dying because she was hit by a fucking bus.
Damn. What are the odds?
Somebody
a
called
school
Hillary.
bus.
She
was hit by
Hillary.
a fucking school bus.
Wow, I missed that story.
But yeah, how are you guys doing?
A little tired, but
Yeah.
We actually got a bloodbath Monday on Monday now.
It is a Monday.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should feel like I'm a day early or a day late. I don't know.
It feels normal to me.
Except you don't get to go to work.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
You're stuck here.
Yeah. This week I'm cosplaying as 90s static working a Hot Topic.
Oh, you think that's what I dress like?
Yeah.
It was all black.
Oh, you were goth?
Yeah. No,
dude, I thought
no. Not goth. I had the black hair and the it was like scene. It wasn't goth. It was like punk and metal and like.
Okay. I thought for sure you'd be like fucking like grunge looking like.
No, I hate Nirvana and I hate Pearl Jam. Like I am not a fan of alternative music. I was definitely more into the punk rock and the hardcore and the metal and all that stuff.
Freaking camera went out of focus.
Your camera's having a spaz.
Yeah, stroking out. I wish I was. There we go.
Wait, you wish you were stroking out? What?
Yes. And now Siri's turning on. Fucking get off the bitch.
Devil, you gotta make it to Vegas. Who's gonna take me out? Who's gonna be the one?
Don't say it that way, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. I'm going to kill you.
Yes.
That is how you will address it, okay? Never say that sentence fucking again.
I didn't want to say kill on stream. That's why. I was a little early saying that.
Well,
you son of a bitch.
Savage Savage is watching, so I don't know if he clipped that or not. But he says he hates the Foo Fighters, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. I like some of their songs, but that's just because they have cool riffs. We also have.
I gotta go.
We got Meteor Advocate Timon in the chat. How you doing, sir? Good to see you here. We've got Alpha Omega. Boog's been hot since Waco. Oh, are you saying we've been at the Civil War since Waco? And he's calling me Leighton Dermy as well.
Wait, is that a
we
good
also
thing?
have Kel, who we said hello to earlier. And Mr. Cashcaster. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening this Monday, and your week didn't start off as shitty as mine and Devil's.
Bring back Everclear. Need music to cut to. Exactly.
Wait, was that a thing?
I
didn't know people.
Yeah.
I didn't know people were cutting to Everclear. I just thought they were going around buying everyone a garden. I don't know.
Teen girls, yeah, probably. I wouldn't put it past them.
So before we get into the serious stuff, I came across this little infographic. It was a poll that was taken. Democrats are not united on a clear leader within their party. Regardless of who you think should lead the Democratic Party, who do you personally consider the current leader of the Democratic Party? 17% said Kamala Harris, followed by 15% for Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama.
Chuck Schumer.
I'm surprised 11% know who Hakeem Jeffries is. I almost don't believe this one.
I like how 11 no one.
I like 11's no one. And then I also like 4% for don't know, while Joe Biden is also 4%.
You know what's pretty eye-opening seeing that is seeing how low Gavin Newsom is. Like,
yeah,
like, just taking like
1% maybe.
Couple years ago, he's probably like the top guy. Like he's gonna he's like he could lead them, and now look what happened to him.
I don't know if. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say you could also argue that don't know, this 4% of don't know goes into the 11% of no one.
Yeah, I would say
because
that.
What kind of obfuscation is that? Like, well, I don't know who the leader is. Well, there isn't one. It's just who do you think it is?
Which means just as much that think Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama think no one is.
Chuck Schumer's fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't know why Chuck Schumer's up there.
The only reason he's up there is because Nancy Pelosi stepped down from is no longer the leader in the House or whatever, so he's the highest ranking Democrat.
So he's just got seniority, just the longest tenure.
Yeah, she's gonna step out, so he's the oldest and kind of the head. Yeah, this kind of fits exactly where they are. They have no identity at this point because they're a party fighting amongst themselves inside their own like ranks. You have the far left trying to take command. Like you literally have people pushing Bernie Sanders and AOC ticket for the next time around. Bernie's going to be like 90.
So it's not going to be. It's going to be AOC and someone else.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen because he's
no way.
90 years old, my ass. So yeah, they're trying to take over, see this as opportunity. At the same time, you have the moderates seeing they're going, this was clearly a jab against us pushing too far on this far left bullshit. We need to head back to the center. That's where we were winning. And so they're going to be struggling for God knows how long. And so, yeah, they have no identity. They have no freaking leadership. This is seriously, they're looking at Kamala Harris. She lost so bad, and you still think that bitch has a fucking chance of leading your party? God, retarded.
Yeah, like, she lost all swing states. And like, why would you want to throw her back out there?
She was shellacked. The whole time you could see she had absolutely she was brain dead.
I think so. Okay, you use perfect term, brain dead. I think the vast majority of the people who said Kamala Harris are the brain dead. Because they're just like Kamala Harris, because that's who.
Because they just know who she is.
Yeah. That's who they told us.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. Somebody put out a freaking thing where they were all the left going, Elon Musk wasn't elected. And they're all, okay, neither was George Soros, neither was Hunter Biden, neither was Fauci, neither was, and they went through all thing and they said, and neither was Kamala Harris when they put her as the lead for your party, your presidential candidate.
Yes.
All those people weren't voted on. Like, but still, they had power. They made choices, and you guys went along with it. But then Elon Musk gets in and or gets appointed, and you guys are shitting your pants. It's fucking stupid.
I think I'm scared about AOC. I know she's like stupid, like really stupid, but I feel like there's like a blind amount of people that will support her just for her because of her popularity.
I need to correct something here. Professor Savage Dead says Static painted his nails to Fall Out Boy songs. You are incorrect, sir. It was Hawthorne Heights. So you guys saw that Tim Walz had the 2% of being the Democratic leader or whatever. Well, he's been out on a little tour himself. And I got to give him just openly promoting you just hear for himself.
I saw some of these clips.
Where did it go? Why does it take it so long for this to load?
We see one of the first things they do is try and restrict the vote. This is one of the things, though, that this is going to take power to the streets. I don't know what the answer is on this, but I've been saying this. I think we need a shadow government, so when all these things come up every single day, we've got an alternate press conference.
What? What?
Say the quiet part out loud, I guess.
What the fuck do you want? A shadow government? Why does he want that? Let's roll it back.
When all these things come up every single day, we've got an alternate press conference telling the truth about what things are happening. Telling what's going out.
Hold on. Isn't that what CNN's doing for you already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a shadow government to hold our water. Okay.
That's a crazy thing to say out loud. And people cheer for her too.
They did. They fucking did, including this fucking tranny looking thing right here.
See, one of the first things they do.
I can't believe that. They were all for. Yeah, let's have a. They just don't even know what they're doing. They're not listening. They're not paying attention.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with the left is I think they seal clap for anything. They say shadow government. They go, oh yeah, that sounds like a good idea. They don't have a clue of what that actually what he is saying. What he's actually saying is there should be a government that opposes and interferes with your legitimately elected government, and you're okay with that. They just seal clap. They don't really know. It's just like the whole socialist thing, how they did that survey and found out that all these leftists that are pushing socialist, only like 17% of them actually know what socialism is, or some like way low amount. That it's just this, like I said, it's this bleeding heart idea of where you hear a thing and you go, oh, that sounds decent, I'll go with it, and you don't really kind of know the entails. Because that sounds so stupid. Like, let's have a bunch of unelected bureaucrats and stuff interfere with the government and hope that doesn't go bad for us.
Yeah.
You don't even know who these people are. Like, you're just gonna trust them?
Well, that's their problem.
Well, and that's the thing. Is like, okay, maybe these people have never heard the term shadow government before, right?
Yeah.
Sure. Shouldn't you be asking what does that mean?
Yeah. First question I'll take some questions.
Shadow government
is
that sounds kind of eerie. Why would a government need to be a shadow? What that sounds like it's trying to hide. I don't know why. Like, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's have a secret government that we have no eyeballs on, that we can't tell what's going on.
No oversight.
The sunlit government is fucking bad enough with their transparency, including the most transparent fucking administration ever. At least they're transparent.
Yeah,
to a degree.
Why not have politicians that are completely not voted in, completely it doesn't have to answer to anyone, making choices and interfering. Nothing could go wrong with the aesthetic. I mean, perfectly safe to me.
These people.
It wasn't Paramore. It was Static Lullaby. All right.
I'm gonna go have to change my cosplay. Excuse me.
So before we get into more the heavy hitter stuff, I've got one other thing. What's this one? I got two more things before we get into the big topics. So I've been rather annoyed with, for lack of a better term, influencers, social media personalities. They're all fucking gay. Every last one of them. And here's a perfect example of why.
Oh. Are you going to cat turd?
Yep. So just so you know, everything about electric cars suck. And they're horrible for the environment. It's not the way of the future and never will be. It's a bad joke pushed by woke idiots, elitist morons, and people trying to get rich on government subsidies. Ding, 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 ding. This still hasn't changed. Nothing's changed here. This is from February 13th, 2022.
Somebody tell you're going to show another tweet.
Yep.
Right?
Because I bet since he's an Elon fan, now he's all like, Tesla is the best thing ever.
Daily reminder. Wear your MAGA hat proudly. Drive your Tesla proudly. Just last week.
Oof.
I hate this shit.
Yeah.
Look, back here in 2022 and beyond, I wasn't an Elon fan. I'm still not really an Elon fan. I like what he's doing with Doge. From what I could tell, I don't know if anything's actually happening because we keep signing spending bills that have like the old shit to keep funding this stuff. I don't know how any of that works, right? So I guess we'll see. Anyhow, I hated Tesla. I still hate Tesla. The batteries are shit. Apparently, we've got no way to get rid of them. Are they only successful because of the government subsidies, which is not capitalism?
Hold on. We do have a way of getting rid of them. We're going to send them to Mars when Elon finally establishes a colony there.
Oh, so we're sending all the Teslas to Mars.
Yeah, all the batteries, yeah.
Oh.
That's where we're going to store them.
Yeah.
Or do we all go to Mars and they leave the batteries here?
That could work too.
I don't know if I want to go to Mars. Even if I could be there tomorrow, I don't know if I want to go to Mars. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't want to have to live all the time in a bubble, never be able to go outside. Like, like if they had a way to get back, I wouldn't mind like devoting, the 6 or 8 months or whatever for the flight there and stay there for 4 months, fly the 8 months. I don't care about that. That wouldn't bother me. But yeah, the fact is it's a one-way trip. They're all like, we're going to send you out there and, well, good luck. It's kind of like, fuck that shit. Yeah, I just couldn't stand to never go outside again. That would
I mean, your concerns about Elon are valid, but could I make the statement that like Trump wouldn't have got in without Elon's help?
Sure. I wouldn't necessarily disagree with that, but I also don't like that.
Yeah.
If Elon never makes a statement supporting Trump, does Kamala Harris win the election?
I think Trump could still win it, but I think maybe Elon elevated it more.
I think Elon Elon certainly impacted it.
Yeah. But him buying, getting Twitter and everything, and
I think, I don't know. That's the hard one. I think Trump would have still won. I just don't think the margins would have been as big as they were.
Yeah.
I think it was more the American people fed up than anything done including the shot taken at him and all that. I think it's more just the people are like, we're so fed up with this shit.
The
So
election
I
should
think
have
he would have won.
Yeah, the election should have been over after he got shot.
Yeah, when he got
Like,
shot
really,
at, definitely.
should have
Yeah.
been over. If this
Uh,
was
But they-
the 70s, that would have been fucking done.
Yeah.
Joe Biden would have carried on with the race,
Oh, yeah.
but like known that it was over. They would have never put in a fucking pinch hitter or any of that shit.
But
yeah.
the media did a good job making that story like kind of disappear. Yeah, it
Oh,
was
oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
They do not. Their purpose is to not let Trump look good at all. Their
Yeah.
purpose is to obfuscate and lie and scare the living shit out of the people. And so a great way to do that would be to make the president an evil fucking asshole.
Like I remember that it happened on a Saturday, and just remember like seeing shit Trump got
I was-
shot at.
I was live here.
At
with
first,
Josh.
I didn't take it too seriously. Then like I got a couple more texts and stuff like that. And I'm like, holy shit! I saw the video.
Shock and I and Jeremy had just done a stream like making fun of Boogie or something,
Mhm.
and Duke Devil was in the chat. He's like, they just shot Trump, and we're like, what? Shut the fuck up! Like, no way.
It's look, my thing with Elon is I appreciate, like you said, what he's doing with Doge. I'm really happy about that. Like when you hear all this stuff Doge is uncovering and kind of bringing forward and bringing out about government waste, it's incredible. I mean, we knew there were government waste. Anyone who doesn't think there's government waste, you're a fucking retard. That's one of the best things government does is waste our money.
No, the government's perfect. Devil, shut up. Don't ask questions.
yeah.
They're
Shut up,
listening.
devil. But to the extent that we have found out is incredible. Like it floors me every single time you hear more and more of this shit. You're like, whoa, you're what? So I'm really happy with him about that, but I've never been an Elon sycophant. Like even when he was buying Twitter, I said, look, I don't care what you say. He's still a rich asshole. You know, he's still gonna he's not all the stuff he's promising he's not gonna be able to uphold. We knew because the him needing to stay on the iTunes store and all that shit that he wasn't gonna be able to like let us say the N-word over and over again, even though I saw that what's her name did.
Yes, Brittany Venti.
Yeah, I was all like,
But
damn, Brittany,
she's like,
just daring him,
she's
huh?
like a quarter black or something, so she's got the pass.
Yeah, she just puts it up on there. I can say it. But yeah, like we knew that there wasn't going to be perfect freedom of speech on here.
Yeah.
We knew that he was going to buckle to some stuff, which he did when he hired what's that bitch name. And people still being banned for, stupid things like saying he doesn't play his own video games.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of people who have
lame,
gone after Elon are getting banned off Twitter.
yeah, so I've never been like a huge fan. I'm just a fan that people are doing stuff. That's the thing is it seems like for so long politics wise, we've been stagnant. We had the two parties and no matter what party you chose, you were fucked either way. Just one, you didn't feel as bad about it, but otherwise you were still screwed. Which is why I don't consider myself a Republican anymore. Haven't for years.
Yeah, I've never felt aligned with either one of them.
Yeah. Like I said, when I was in high school, like that time, I considered myself a Republican because I thought taxes were fucking evil and I didn't fully in line with what libertarians believed. So I was all like, I guess I'm a Republican, whatever, if you want to put a label on it. Now I'm thoroughly like, don't call me a Republican. Fuck you. I'm on the right, but I ain't that. And so, yeah, like I've never been a sycophant for him. I'm not a sycophant for Trump. I think Trump, a lot of stuff he's doing is good. Some of the stuff he's done bad. But like I said, I'm just more a fan that it feels like government's changing. And you never thought that was going to happen. Like if you were 10 years ago, if you asked me, do you think government will ever change? I'd be like, fuck no. No matter who gets in office, no matter who they vote, this is what we're stuck with because it's too powerful to ever change. No one's that powerful that they can change this beast that we have. And I was wrong. I mean, here's Donald Trump and Doge, and they're making these choices and they're making these decisions, and it's actually moving the government around and changing
It
shit. We
is.
might actually get rid of the Department of Education.
But we need Congress to go and codify this shit into law to make us
Yeah.
that this shit can't happen again. We haven't gotten anything from them. We haven't gotten a fucking thing from Congress.
Sitting
Yeah.
on their
Except for
hands.
the spending, except for the continuing resolution bill.
That's
So that they
that's
could-
what I'm hoping is
Well-
that Elon puts his money where his mouth is and says, okay, on this next go around in 2 years, we're gonna freaking get money and we're gonna put it into every alternative candidate, anyone who says fuck the party, essentially. You're our guy.
Yeah. So that maybe the other side of that is Elon said, I think I heard somewhere Elon said he's stepping down in May, and the executive order for Doge has Doge set to expire June of next year.
Oh, it'll be expanded. I think it'll be extended. I mean, it's doing so well so far.
But if it does its job, it shouldn't go on forever.
Well, it's not going to be able to do it all in 1 year. Come on.
So
How many years?
It's a year, and they give it a year and a half, or yeah, 18 months. They gave it 18 months.
There's like these some of this pile of fucking ripping us off shit that they have made has taken how many years? 30, 40, probably more in a lot of these
60,
cases.
70.
Yeah.
The CIA, ever since
Yeah.
it began, which and actually they're supposed to start looking. They're trying to start looking into the CIA, I think, this week.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes of that.
So I think there's a lot more digging they have to do. But yes, once they've done their job, I would either get rid of it completely or make it like into a minute thing. Like keep a very small amount of them just so they can keep an eye on stuff and try to find more stuff that's but
they need to find a way to make the spending more transparent.
Oh yeah.
So and make that information more easily accessible, which is what so actually that's what Doge should be going into in the next set. Like if they're going to extend it, that's what Doge should be doing. They're like, all right, we found all the waste. Now we want to prevent future waste by providing this to the American people, and so that they can see where the money's going.
They need to make it where
almost in like live action type shit.
Oh yeah. Every single government organization at the end of the year should be audited. They should have their books opened, show us every single thing they've been spending on. And if there's something that they have to hide spending wise, that would be great to have a small contingent of Doge still around that would go, okay, you're saying the American people can't see this because it affects some top secret thing. Okay, fine. We'll look into it. Oh, it doesn't. You lied. Put it out type thing. Like I said, the only thing I want that we can't see is if it's all like, oh yeah, we just gave all this money to some, person in this country because they're going to betray and tell us the nuclear codes for, this country or whatever. Okay,
right.
Maybe we don't need to see that, but, get that guy killed in half a day. But otherwise, yeah, I want to know how much you're spending on fucking pencils. I want to know how much the CIA is spending on staplers. I want to know how much fuck that. I want to see every no one will ever like fully go through the books and check everything, but it should be there if we want to. We're the one paying the bills. So yeah.
Yep. Have you seen my stapler?
Yep. See my stapler? Mm-hmm. Yes, I've seen your stapler. Black Ops asshole.
Why'd you look? So yeah.
I never thought about getting a Tesla. Never wanted them.
Oh, there's I don't like the front because they don't need a grill, so it looks weird to me as a car.
Yeah.
And the Cybertruck is butt ugly. Just saying, I hate it.
I don't hate the Cybertruck.
Oh,
I don't hate the Cybertruck.
That was gayer than the bands you were mentioning earlier.
Damn it!
I see a lot of them in here in New York.
I wasn't even trying to be gay with the Cybertruck thing.
Oopsie.
I think Static got one already. He's gonna drive it to Vegas.
I wish, but no, no, I can't. I can't buy an EV because the truck that I own that I love is getting up there in miles, and I would never own an electric vehicle without having a normal combustion that's like,
To back up, yeah.
yeah, but not even backup, but like that's the main squeeze. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Like, okay, I've seen people drive Teslas and I like the, the non-pull acceleration. I like everything about the idea of driving electric. I would like to get an electric motorcycle. Have you seen one of those? Those look fun
no.
as shit. But you're right. I don't think I could have one unless I had some sort of backup.
Mhm.
And also, like I said, never will be a Cybertruck. Never.
And my backup will always be an actual pickup. It won't be a fucking sedan or some shit. Like,
Yeah.
it has to be a truck.
Yeah. Yep.
So we do have some good news here. This is just some random bit that I came across. Thanks to Elon Musk, though. He actually tweeted this out. From the justice.gov website, former federal officers sentenced for smuggling aliens and receiving bribes from cartel. Huh?
Jesus Christ.
How does this happen? So, a former Customs and Border Protection officer has been sentenced to federal prison in 2 separate cases for allowing aliens and cocaine across the border, announced U.S. Attorney Nicholas J. Ganji, whatever the fuck that is. Emmanuel Isaac Celadon, 37, Laredo, pleaded guilty March 11th, 2024 for his role in illegally smuggling illegal aliens into the United States through Lincoln Juarez port of entry in Laredo. He also admitted to bribery and attempted importation of cocaine for accepting money to allow what he thought was cocaine to cross into the United States from Mexico. How many more of them?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna be like, I can't
Not
believe
just
this is the only one. These guys are given this power, and you don't think they're easily corrupted? Yeah, some cartel comes in and says, "Well, give you X amount of money. All you have to do is let this fucking happen." Okay, well, it's gonna happen anyway. Why not?
Yeah, if they came at me and they're like, here's 5 G's to let these 5 bricks through.
Yeah,
You look the other way.
especially when
it's
you're
a little tough to. And then who am I going to tell? My boss that might be in on it already? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's you're talking about these cartel members that know exactly who to go to. You know, these border agents and shit, I don't know how protected their identities are and stuff. So yeah, they just sure they're gonna go to them and say, "Hey, you wouldn't happen to be down for a bribe, right?
Right?
Just checking."
I'm just going to leave this wad of cash right here. Don't mind me. I'll see you later.
Yeah. They go down to Mexico, and like I said, what does the like here in America, if I go to a police or some sort of government official and I say, "I'll give you X amount of money to do this," that's a crime. I could be arrested.
Yep.
They go down to Mexico, no one's gonna arrest them. Some cartel member sits at the table. They don't have to like be quiet and be like, make sure no one hears us. They could like literally sit down at the table and say, "Hello, my friend. We'll give you a shit ton of cash." It doesn't matter. They're,
Right.
they're beyond being arrested and shit, beyond our laws. So yeah, why wouldn't they fucking find one of these border agents who's like, "I'm gonna go for a day trip down to Mexico and do something, watch a donkey show or some shit," and yeah,
Don't do
fucking
that,
just
people. Don't do that.
and say, "Yeah, we'll give you this big wad of cash, and all you have to do is turn your back, or even easier, use your credentials to get shit brought in." I'm sure that if you're driving up to the border and you're all like, "Yeah, I actually work for," they just go, "Oh yeah, then go through, because you're one of us." Yeah. So doesn't surprise me at all. Like you said, I'm just wondering how many of them do the same thing.
Definitely more than him.
And if he pled guilty, obviously they have some strong evidence. It's not just they're like, "We think you did this." They have like audio tape or something that is pretty damning. And they said, "Well, you can either go for life or you can go to, 25 years. Which one's it going to be?" "Oh, yeah, guilty." So
We need to figure out how to get this done, Savage, so that we can make money and pay the retards. Savage and I are going to start an IT company and hire Dermy and Cloud to do all the work. Well,
Oh
we
my
train
God.
them how to do it.
Can you trust them?
What's that?
Can you trust them?
Yeah.
Will you guys get like some
Not
sort
rocket
of
science.
your DEI score will be
Sure.
huge hiring 2 gays.
You're right. It'd be massive.
Yeah.
Half our staff are homosexuals.
I mean, technically, all the staff. 100% gay staff.
No, you don't know the cleaning lady might be straight.
Who said anything about hiring? No. This is all remote, man. There's not going to be any home office.
Oh man.
I don't think
Are
Dermy
you-
and Cloud can be in the same room.
So I used to get paid to sit in my back then. I lived in like this townhome that had 3 stories, and I sat in the loft. And in Arizona, if you're on the 3rd floor, your life sucks, because it's hot. But I would sit there and I would answer phone calls and fix people's computer over the internet, like just whatever. And I
No
got paid
AC?
according to whatever the job was.
No AC.
Although I had AC, but it's like it didn't go up.
Then do
Yeah. There's AC and then there's AC that actually works. Like I have a freaking mini split on my room, and that thing literally takes an hour and a half to 2 hours to heat this room, or it takes freaking an hour and a half to cool a room. It does practically nothing.
Sorry, I'm
There's
trying to
the-
get dinner.
You're-
Trying to get dinner
okay.
out of my braces.
No problem.
Got a month
But
left of these things.
But yeah, like I could see that being on the 3rd floor in Arizona. You're essentially at the top of the rotisserie there.
Yeah, especially like in June.
Yeah.
You just have to pay him $20 an hour. I'm just reading prompts chat.
So now we have some sort of like official announcement here. Been talking about this. I am very much against this idea. President Trump agrees to meet with anti-Trump Democrat Bill Maher as favor to Kid
Oh.
Rock.
He was at the White House today. I saw dressed like a.
Oh yeah, it's going to be at the White House. Of course, Donald
no.
Trump is going to be sitting behind the fucking desk in the Oval Office while Bill Maher has to come grovel.
No,
Please.
Kid Rock was at the White House today.
Kid Rock was at the White House
Dude.
today. Yes.
He was
I
dressed
would.
like.
Good.
No, I'm saying he was like the way he was dressed. Like, oof. I don't
He was
know.
dressed like he was fucking Evil Knievel about to get shot out of
Yes.
a cannon or some shit.
I would straight fucking like. I hope he does the whole apologize to Bill Maher. No. No, like okay, Bill Maher, as far as like he at least he's reasonable. Like if he gets presented with evidence,
He's a lying schmuck. And he
He
goes
is,
where
he
he
is.
thinks the fucking eyeballs are. He's a piece of shit.
he's a piece of shit. I'm not denying that, but at least when he's been willing to admit when the left is fucking losing their mind, he's called it straightforward on some stuff. Doesn't mean I watch the guy. Doesn't mean I would, throw a bucket of water on him if he's on fire. I'm just saying that at least as far as TV personalities, he's the most least egregious. Like if it was all like Kid Rock asked if the View could stop by, fuck that, like but
Oh,
yeah, at
please,
least
can the View please invite Kid Rock on? I might watch that. That might be interesting.
only if he's armed.
They're never gonna invite Kid Rock on.
No,
Never.
because he wouldn't. Hopefully, he wouldn't hold back. Hopefully, he would tell Joy Behar where she can.
I don't know.
stick it.
I didn't watch much of his Bill Maher interview when he was doing the whole thing where Bill Maher sits there and smokes a joint and they just hang out or whatever. Like, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I don't know. Never been a Kid Rock fan. I hated that fucking music. Bah with the bah, the bang, like no, that was so bad.
What's
But
some of
any-
his, what's like his popular song?
Up jumps the boogie. What are you?
yeah,
What's wrong
no,
with
no,
you?
no, no.
Yes. What's his popular song again? What's his
Ba with
most
the
pop-
Ba was like his first single.
That
And
was his
then-
That's not
first
the one
like
I'm thinking
hit,
of.
but then there's the cowboy one.
Oh, yeah.
Want to be a
That doesn't obvious.
cowboy, baby. I wouldn't say I was a fan, but I wasn't all like, oh my god, turn it off. I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. It was
all summer long.
kind of like rock adjacent.
Yeah, it was during that like Limp
Corn, Limp
Bizkit,
Bizkit.
Godsmack type
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, Static X, all those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, when he came on, it was like, okay, but yeah, I was never like a massive fan. I think I might
Right.
own one album. But
And then Duke Devil
Big-
with the hot take. What? Those lyrics are amazing. Kid Rock is a musical poetry, a weaver of magical words. No.
Duke's driving in his car and that song comes on. He's sitting there going, man, this is the soundtrack of my life.
I think Static hates Kid Rock as much as Gary hates Bon Jovi.
I hate
I
Bon
don't know
Jovi
about
too,
that.
You hate Bon Jovi?
I hate Bon Jovi too. Yeah.
What?
Man, I
Bon
would give
Jovi's kind of gay.
I would get
Ah.
shut your mouth. I'd give
Yes.
anything to get freaking Gary to the karaoke bar so we all could take turns singing Bon Jovi songs to him. I want
yeah.
every like if he was there, literally if he showed up, I know it won't, but if he was there, like literally everyone has to go on there and go, okay, there's 5 Bon Jovi songs on this list. Who wants what? And just every single one of us in a row go up there and go, this is for man Gary.
They did that at the San Antonio meetup. They played "Living on a Prayer."
They serenaded him one song.
yes,
I want to
okay.
fucking I want to make him like go, god damn, I wish I could drink. Like I want to fucking have him just like pissed. But
Oh,
no,
yeah, we
like,
get that.
Gary did express interest in attending karaoke. Okay. Interesting.
I'll live
There
living
you
on a
go.
prayer. Who wants to sing it with me, guys? We gotta do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Let's get
Living
some
on a
alcohol.
prayer.
in me.
This one's for you, Gary. And yep.
I can sing anything with alcohol.
I'll even change the lyrics. Gary used to work on the dial.
The cover of You Give Love a Bad Name.
Well, yeah.
See? He's listening to Kid Rock while barreling down the highway in his EV. We know it. We know it.
Oh.
So did you guys see the stuff going on in France this morning?
Blah, 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 blah. No, but I mean, is it the same thing that's been going on? Like, kind of.
I don't
isn't there
know.
like protests? Like, still the
Oh
people
no,
are fighting against the
I know what you're talking
government.
about. No, this is a little bit more than that.
They
Okay.
still want the Statue of Liberty back.
So the first tweet here, unreal. They took out the opposition. Marine Le Pen, who is currently leading in the opinion polls for 2027 election in France, has been sentenced to 4 years in prison and banned from running in the next election. So this is the woman that is the far right candidate for France. She's been leading forever.
Motherfucker.
She almost even won the last time around. They got her for using EU funds to pay people. I don't know exactly how this works, but there's more to it. So Mike Benz, he's the guy who's been all over the USAID stuff. He says Marine Le Pen in France, Bolsonaro in Brazil, Imran Khan in Pakistan, Matteo Salvini in Italy, Donald Trump in America, Kalin Georgescu in Romania. The criminal prosecution of every populist challenger is a danger in the heart of the credibility of democracy. And so everyone on my timeline was tweeting out the same thing about these world leaders: Brazil, Pakistan, Italy, France, and Romania. Turkey has been and gigantic hundreds and thousands of people protest for like 2 weeks now because their president, Erdogan, whatever his name is,
Yeah.
arrested his opponent who was leading. And when he arrested him, so he arrested him just to arrest him, but then he had the school that gave him his degree or whatever they call it out there, take that away because the schools could do that out there. And then that made his opponent now ineligible to run for the president of Turkey because you have to be educated in order to run. No one's talking about that. Like, why are we only talking about these when this has been known for weeks? No one has said anything. And I go and I look at Grok, and Grok tells me, oh, I hate how this works. So it was actually the Istanbul mayor of Turkey that was the political challenger. And it seems like people like what's his name, Macron, and everyone support this particular challenger. But you're going to tell me that this one guy is the only one who's committed any crimes while all the other people are innocent just because of what side of the political aisle they're on?
The thing is Trump got them panicked. They see that if a person on the right who's kind of, reformist gets in, that they can't actually do damage to the globalist beast. But the problem they have is the fucking idiots. It's like, strike me down, you only make me more powerful, right? They go after them. They imprisoned Le Pen. Okay, great. She can't run in the next election. Do you really think that there's not somebody who has the same opinions as her who won't step in and get all of not only her support, but be able to run on the fact that you kind of maliciously prosecuted her just to keep her out of running in the next election?
But that means they're going to be going for you.
It doesn't matter. If they go after them, then they'll go at another person will step up.
You think this populist movement is a hydra?
Oh, hell yeah. I think there's other people that will jump up. I think what they're the thing is, they keep thinking they're going to knock it down. The way they could knock it down is if they actually had an argument, was putting up a salient argument against it, actually taking it down by saying this is why that won't work, right? But since they can't do that, they are resorting to this crap. And like I said, it just makes them more powerful, popular, whatever. Look at Trump. He got a massive spike when they put his mugshot out. Mm-hmm. Why? Because it made him this counterculture type thing. Now he wasn't just this guy who's running for president. Now he's like, holy shit, they're trying to fucking imprison him. How cool is he? It's the same thing here. They're making her more stronger. She may not be able to run, but whoever does run and she endorses is going to become so much more popular right off the bat than they're ready for. And will probably end up winning. That's the problem with this. Instead of trying to defeat this at a grassroots level, they've been trying to do these underhanded things, and by doing that, they're just making this more and more and more and more popular. It looks like they're the underdogs fighting against this big evil beast, which they are, that is trying to imprison them, trying to kill them, trying to do all these bad things. Like I said, you want to see why Trump won. It wasn't Elon Musk. It was the fact they were trying to kill him. They were trying to imprison him. Yeah. They were trying every dirty-handed tactic they could to stop that man. And he said, it ain't going to fucking work. Put his balls on the table. That's why he won. And I think so all these countries that are doing this, you're actually making it worse for yourself. At least that's how it looks to me.
Well, I mean, look at what French did, and look at what France just did, and they've had the yellow vest riots for fucking years. I don't know if they're still happening, but those are going on forever. And I believe Marie Le Pen would have been their voice. So do we get more yellow vests? I hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, France is gone. Like. So you were sending some stories, and let me tell you something. The UK looks fucking lost. I want to go in on it. I want to go in on that Bloodbath when I can have, I mean, not Bloodbath, on pregame when I can have a guest come on. I'd like to get Jack or Kenzo or someone.
We can get Abby. Abby usually.
Abby would do it at that time.
I'm sure. He for some reason that boy don't sleep.
Okay.
I love Abby, but the motherfucker don't sleep. Like I can literally call him at like would be 3 a.m. for British time and be like, hey Abby, you want to do a stream? He'd probably be like, yeah, I wasn't sleeping. Fuck that.
Yeah, you might want to rethink that, Brad. You might want to rethink that because
You're going to France? Wow.
fuck, it could be fucking a fascist state by then. Not like they wouldn't know what that's like.
Like you're talking about all the Muslims they have let in their country, right? And like they're doing like open prayer and shit like that.
Here's the thing.
In UK,
they do that here too.
Yeah,
I do that
in New York City.
They took over your fucking little town square.
Times Square, yes.
Britain and France are on like literally a knife's edge at this point. They're one generation away from losing their country completely.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to go far and do mass deportations, or they're screwed. Just straight up.
I think
London's already fallen.
I think I saw something where like the Gen Z in Spain are all leaving. They're all leaving Spain.
Yep.
Like it's over. There's nothing they can do there. So Spain is going to be relocating.
Yeah. Remember when the Muslims had to conquer Spain and shit during the freaking Crusades? If you go to Spain, a lot of the architecture is actually Middle Eastern.
Moors. Yeah, Moors.
Yeah, because they took Spain. And anyone who knows about the freaking Crusades, you probably don't know enough. But so Spain was under Muslim control for years and years and years. It's really big in their architecture and stuff. And it happened through wars and bloody war. And instead they just said, hey, wait, we'll give it to you. Just hold on. You know? So yeah, it's literally, they're going to have to do mass deportations. Otherwise they're screwed because they've already said what their plan is. We're going to go in there on, saying we're poor migrants. Please help us. We need your help. And then we're going to start dropping babies at such a rate that within one generation, you are going to be the minority in your own country. And that's exactly what they're doing. Britain people are not having kids. Muslims are having 5 to 6. They are going to outpopulate you. And once they have the complete and utter numbers to where you can't kick them out because they can vote in whoever they want into parliament, your parliament is nothing but, Muslim believing people. They're not going to vote we're Muslims. Let's vote to eject the Muslims or the Africans or whoever it is. No. They're going to vote in their best interests. So the second your interests are subverted by another culture that you invited in, you dumb pieces of shit, you're screwed. Your country's gone. You're going to be the ones they kick out. You're going to be the ones, though. You're going to have all the little English white children being rounded up and sent somewhere else because they're no longer welcome in that country. And it's all because of the fucking left and the shit that... So, yes... They're going to have to let people on the right into their fucking government. Hopefully, like I said, this very next time around. And they're going to have to do just like we're doing, mass deportations. Otherwise, your country's lost. And at this point, I don't give a shit.
This is the consequences of just letting everybody into your country, right?
Yep. A culture that has no respect for you. Yeah. I don't have nothing. I don't particularly hate any religion or anything like that. I hate people in it. I'm like Martin Luther King. I judge people by their character, not by their color of their skin. I judge people by their character and what they're doing, not by their religion and shit like that. All jokes aside. But what I do know is that Islamic belief, Sharia law, is unsaleable to our laws. They don't work together. They never will. Well, it can't
because they'll never work together because Sharia law has to conquer.
Exactly.
Like it's not compatible with any fucking thing. Like
exactly.
It's like if you don't have it, you're not whatever the Muslims need you to be.
Yeah. I have no problem with some moderate Muslim people and no hate towards you. But the problem is whenever you mass migrate that many people from a religion or from a group of people and stuff, they're not gonna there's no more desire to assimilate like there used to be.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to come here and you want to talk shit and you want to have your 45 on your hip and you want to vote and you want to like express yourself without stepping on other people's toes and shit, like America, please
Yeah.
feel free.
Yeah.
But
And
don't
this
think
goes-
you get to come over here and tell other people how to live. That's not how
Yeah.
this shit fucking works.
Exactly.
We'll
Yeah,
fucking
and going
run you
back-
out. We will run you out so damn fast.
And going back to, I said there was Statue of Liberty, that French person that said that we lost our ways and they want their Statue of Liberty back. How about you worry about your own goddamn country you're losing? We're doing just fine here.
Oh, well, you see,
Yeah.
that's the thing is the people
Yeah.
who say shit like that thinks their country's doing wonderful and that they have the moral authority.
Yeah.
Can our country improve? But we're doing much better than you guys. I'll tell you that.
You know what I would do? I'd be like, okay, one of two things gonna happen. One, I'm gonna let every American come here and piss on the Liberty before we send it back to you. Or we'll melt that son of a bitch down and put up a fucking goddamn pretty looking fucking girl thing. We'll do like a
Yeah, no shit,
a
not some
sexy-
fucking trendy shit.
yeah, exactly. We'll fucking melt it down and it won't no longer be your fucking statue now, will it, assholes?
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
pinup bomber type.
We'll do Trump doing his dance.
You know what? You're right. Fuck it. We'll just do a fucking hologram of Trump doing the dance. We don't need a
Oh, yeah.
statue.
Oh yeah.
Make it
We'll
whatever
make
we
one.
want.
We'll take all your copper and we'll make it into something useful. Bullets.
Or wire. I don't know.
I know. No bullets.
There's bullets are the best. I mean, there's nothing better we could make bullets out of.
I don't care. It's about the message, man.
Okay.
Maybe shitty
all right,
bullets,
all right.
but copper jacketed, right? I mean,
I don't know
All
about
about
all that.
sending the message.
Copper's pretty soft.
I'll just do it.
That's
I'll
what
dip
she
a
said.
hard metal in it.
No,
I don't care. Like shit. Why you gotta all day you've been doing this fucking static. Stop stepping on my goddamn reasoning and just accept it. Ah, you're overthinking my goddamn jokes.
It's not my fault. It's just who I am.
Did the same thing earlier.
I did.
I'm in there. I slam Dermy with a joke, which isn't that hard because Dermy's a bastard. Anyway, and yes, Taxol like I really like that joke, except and yeah, like proceeds to completely take it apart.
Hold on. How about you say what the joke was?
The Yankees.
I don't know what you guys are talking about here.
The
Yeah.
joke. He said something about being depressed,
Okay.
like being a Yankees fan.
All right. No, it went from Dermy said, "How's Dom?" Her, because he's a bitch. Dermy, not
Wait,
you.
what?
Dude. Well, you're a bitch too, but I mean, you're not as bad a bitch.
Okay.
But Dermy's bitch ass starts a fucking fight, and because he's a pig man, and so he's all, "How's Dom doing?" Her. And so I went, "I don't know. After his dad pulls out of you, why don't you ask him?" Then Dermy had another response. We went back and forth. Him fucking Cloud, different things like that. And he's all like, he's all, Dom must be so depressed or something. I don't know, because I don't pay attention to you. Something like that. He's gay.
And
And
where
so
does this all happen
in
This is
Ballbusters,
Ballbuster,
chat.
yeah.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
so I went, Dom's used to it. He's a Yankees fan.
Oh.
And yeah, then like I said, Stacks all that. That's funny. But here's why it doesn't make sense to me. And like I'm all like, what the fuck? And
It's
so,
because the
you know,
Yankees spend a lot of time winning. All right.
And that wasn't the point. It was that I would be disappointed if I was a Yankees fan. It's not because their win-loss record, it's because they're fucking the Yankees.
So now your comment makes sense when you tag Devil in that, because I'm like,
Exactly.
why are you tagging Devil? He never really comments about baseball.
Yes, that's exactly why he tagged
So
me.
now it makes a little more sense. I was confused about that.
Savage,
Yeah.
you're the only one that's going to understand this joke. I live like 3 miles away from the area that's known as for the meth head area. It's like
Mhm.
every so often something will blow up over there. Over, I don't know. Yeah, that way. And then, it's a meth lab of some sort, and they like to go and claim their copper wire.
Yeah, strip house is a copper. I had a friend that actually did that a couple times.
I think Steve did that too.
That's the friend I was talking about. No, I'm just playing. I had a friend that did it.
Oh, yes. Dermy got the Golden Gundam. I think some of you are going to be a little disappointed in that.
Yeah. Dude, okay. I said it in Ballbusters. Long as he either gives Kratos the option of paying for it, and I'm sure Kratos will be like, no, I don't want money for it. But
Right.
or at least offer it back. Something like that. I just hate the idea of like somebody if somebody donated $40 to Dermy to do 20 squats and he did half a squat and said that's enough, we'd all call bullshit. We'd all
Right.
tell him that's fucking
But there's
bullcrap.
also a massive. He agreed to doing the squats, whereas he he was very objective or objectifying to destroying this golden Gundam.
And that's why I understand. But the point is if he kept it is what I'm talking about. If he just keeps it, it's all like that's not what he gave it to you for. He gave it to you for a specific purpose. Either send it back or, like I said, pay for it. Or if he says you don't have to pay for it, fine.
It's
But
kind of
you
a
don't
gamble.
just-
Dermy told people not to do that, and then you do it. You're kind of
but
gambling.
This is a friend. This is a friend. You don't do that. It's a dick move. I'm sorry. But Dermy already said he's going to offer him to pay for it, so it's moot. But yeah, to me that would be a dick move. Like if you guys sent me something, I'd be like, yeah, I'd send it back to you and say I'm not going to destroy that. If I didn't want to destroy it, but I wouldn't keep it, or like I said, I'd at least offer to pay for it if nothing else. But
and
also,
Brad,
it's bitch move still. So,
Brad, I'm going to stick with objectifying. He was objectifying the Gundam. I'm going to stick with that.
Because literally, okay, if the whole point of that was people were donating to hurt Dermy, that's what the point of the list was. It's not here's stuff for Dermy to do because he really enjoys it.
Okay, hold on. This isn't the fucking Dermy stream. Go talk to him. Get the fuck out.
No, because the motherfucker he is destroying a Gunpla. It's a Gunpla he fucking hates. It's one he probably already fucking, destroyed one of. Who knows? He doesn't care. It's not hurting him.
Give a shit either.
If you give me money to fucking stab myself, a needle on my fucking arm, don't sit there and let me fucking jip out of it. And that's kind of what this is to me. He's doing a Gunpla he doesn't give a shit about. He should be doing a Gunpla he really wants to keep, which would be that one.
I have no idea. I don't know. And to me, it's all shenanigans.
Bitch moves.
I'm just whatever.
Yeah, I want it back.
I have nothing to do with any of this. Neither does anyone else here on this show. There's nothing we can do about any of this.
No, I was kidding.
So anyhow, who's excited about bombing brown people? Donald Trump is.
Ryan?
He tweeted this out just today. The Iran-backed Houthi terrorists have been decimated by the relentless strikes over the past 2 weeks. Many of their fighters and leaders are no longer with us. We hit them every day and night, harder and harder. Their capabilities that threaten shipping and the region are rapidly being Yeah, that good old Trump typo. Are rapidly being destroyed. Our attacks will continue until they are no longer a threat to freedom of navigation. Interesting capitalization here again. The choice for the Houthis
Okay,
is
Gail.
clear. Stop shooting at U.S. ships, and we will stop shooting at you. Otherwise, we have only just begun, and the real pain is yet to come for both the Houthis and their sponsors in Iran. Because he also went on later to talk about all of that with Iran. There's things about Iran not reaching a nuclear deal or something like that.
Here's the thing. I don't care. Like I don't want to get another forever war. I
So,
don't
well,
want
yeah,
to
this is just more. This is bombing
blood.
Yemen, and this is after Trump said he wasn't going to do that. And
But
now we're going
here's
after
the
the
thing.
Houthis. Like
Here's the thing. I am a big proponent, massive proponent of Teddy Roosevelt's idea: walk softly, carry a big stick. We don't want to start a fight. We don't want to fight with you. We don't want to have anything to do with you, really. But if you fucking kick dirt on our shoe, I'm gonna bitch smack you in front of your whole fucking family. That's the idea here. If they're gonna shoot at ships, one thing we have to be clear is that freedom of sending materials around the world, right? We can't allow piracy. We can't allow this kind of shit. If they're gonna be shooting America's ships, fuck yeah. Especially they're terrorists. They're not a country. The Iran thing, that's a little more difficult, but we can't allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon. I 100% believe that.
Yeah,
So,
I agree
I get where, but yeah, they're terrorists. So yeah, go ahead and blow them up, kill them. I don't care. I'm not gonna cry over it. It's not starting a war because the country doesn't like them either. It's just they're not able to deal with them. We
We
can.
have like
Burn 'em
no
up.
ships. We have no ships over there.
Yeah, we do.
Not
Are you
no.
telling-
Like what they do hardly affects us.
If they shoot one rocket at one ship, I'd kill their entire goddamn fucking bloodline. Like I'm not. I'm one of those kind of things. You hit me with a freaking penny, I'll fucking beat you with a rock.
Do we
Okay,
know that this has happened recently?
yeah, we know they've been
Just
shooting at
reports.
ships. We had back a while ago. We had all these ships getting shot rockets from the shoreline at our ships, at United States ships, not our necessarily our warships or something. I'm talking about our commercial ships. If you're flying an American flag, you're an American ship, and we will protect you. That's how that works. We protect shipping across the entire world. The whole world owes us a fucking goddamn blowjob for us protecting shipping lanes, for us protecting goddamn free trade around this fucking world. Damn right. Burn them. I don't care. I'm not going to cry about it. Like I said, I don't want to get in a war.
I think we just get the fuck out of the region. We don't need that region. We barely have any trade that goes through there compared to the rest of the world. Saturates the fuck out of that area compared to us. We should just be like, you guys fucking handle it. Why are we taking care of the rest of the world's fucking problem?
Do you really know how much trade we do in that part of the world? Do you have like some
stats
sheet?
that I saw earlier is like our trade that goes through the area as opposed to everyone else is like at 3%.
Which for us could literally be hundreds of millions of dollars.
No, we don't have
billions, probably more like.
So okay, actually, hold on. That statistic might have been 3% of our trade goes through that area.
3% of the trade from the United States
in that area.
Jesus Christ, like I said, you don't know where all that stuff goes after it makes it through that pass. Like I said, we have to have free trade. The seas have to be cleared. We're the ones who do it. It sucks, but if we don't, we allow trade routes to be piracy and countries to sit there and say you can't go through our waters and shit like that. Free trade, we've made this. It's our thing. We just have to take it. Like I said, these people, it's simple. Don't shoot rockets at ships. Simple thing. Otherwise, we're going to kill you. I don't care. I'm not going to cry over terrorists burning to death. I just won't.
Yeah,
I wouldn't champion it. I'm not going to put out a tweet about it. I'm just going to do it. But yeah, like I said, I won't start a fight. But if you're going to start a fight with me, I'm damn well going to finish it.
I just don't. We've got other problems and we just started this one. I haven't heard a damn thing about Hamas. in probably a month now. He's got fucking Zelensky and Putin pissed as of just within the last 48 hours.
Anyone else wish he would just tell Zelensky, suck my dick? Like,
Oh, yeah.
literally.
Just tell the guy to
There's a
fuck
lot
off.
of people out there that are theorizing that Trump's going to align with Russia.
Oh
I
my
hope he
god.
doesn't, because I really don't
And
care
and,
about
and
either
those are
side.
not just people, those are not just the leftist and like the people who already think he's Putin's puppet or whatever. These are other things. The thought has crossed my mind as well, especially because how long has Putin been trying to like be buddies with America? You know, supposedly he asked Bill Clinton about joining NATO or some shit, right?
Yes, I want to join NATO against Russia. Huh? The NATO was created to fucking deal with you, asshole. No, I don't want him to align with Putin. God, that would be
Oh
such
no, yeah,
a
that's a
bad
terrible
look.
decision.
But here's the thing. If you look at it, Russia kind of has claim to Crimea. If you know anything about what's happening over there, about signed agreements and stuff, he has claim to it. And we should acknowledge facts. And that's the thing, is a lot of these people who are waving the Ukrainian flag and stuff, they don't bother looking into the actual thing. The fact is, when the Soviet Union broke up, a history professor actually did a video on this. When the Soviet Union broke up, there was a agreement signed saying we're breaking up, we're separating, here's what's going to happen. In that, and Ukraine signed this, it says that if your leadership, whatever government you put in place of your country, fails and cannot provide for your country, people,
yeah. Did
we
you talk
have
about
a
this
right.
before?
I believe I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
We have a right to step in and reclaim you. So get a good government. At the time that they annexed Crimea, Crimea had broken away from Ukraine. They had their own government. They didn't want to be part of Ukraine. They had established their own government separate from the overall Ukrainian government. Those assholes essentially ran it into the ground and ran off. Skedaddled. Their government collapsed. Hence, triggering that clause in the contract that essentially said that Russia had every right to reclaim it, especially because the people of Crimea believe themselves to be Russia. I think a majority of them. They actually rather be part of Russia. So it all fit. It sucks. It's crap. So that part, like I said, them trying to join NATO, he multiple times said, look, stop trying to join NATO. We're not going to allow that. Drop it. Ukraine kept pushing that, with America's pushing them on it. That's America had their part in it too. Let's be honest. We love to push buttons. And so they kept pushing till finally they were literally about to fucking join NATO, put NATO on Russia's doorstep. Of course. So, but we take no responsibility for that. And Ukraine's not going to sit there and, say, hey, maybe we shouldn't have poked the bear, literally, right?
Right.
There's deeper stuff to it. Like I said, I'm not condoning Russia invading Ukraine. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying that Ukraine isn't the fucking perfect little golden child that we're all supposed to believe they are.
Right.
And
it's another situation where we don't need to be sending them missiles to blow each other up.
Stay out of it.
Let them figure it out. And you know what? If they stop all over Ukraine, that sucks. I'm sorry, but like, we shouldn't have had anything to do with that. The people who think that us sending them missiles is to keep Russia away from attacking America are fucking retarded. They need help. They're like, yeah, we got to help Ukraine so that Russia doesn't get over here. Really? Really? You fucking retards. Yeah, because giving them bombs won't piss them off more.
Yeah. Ukraine, if you have an enemy on your doorstep, you should be building up your military. For the past however long since the fall of the Soviet Union, Ukraine should have been putting money into their defenses. They should have been mining the goddamn border, fucking building tanks, building aircraft, doing everything they can to make their military. They would never be as big as Russia, but at least it's not about making your military so big you could beat Russia. It's about not making your country not worth the squeeze, right? Russia's not going to fucking try to invade you if it's going to be too much of a pain in the ass, right? That's the idea. And they never went for it. Instead, they just sat there and lived under the same protection as NATO countries do, where it's all like, well, if something does pop off, the Americans will step in. They'll give their blood for us. That's been their plan since the very fucking beginning. And now they're calling in that fucking idea. And thank God we have a president that, like I said, hopefully will be like, fuck you. Yeah, completely fuck yourself. No way.
Is Twitter acting like shit for anyone else?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I silenced my phone so that you guys had to
been
stop
checking.
hearing Men at Work.
That's what plays every time someone sends you a DM or something?
Yeah.
Holy
Who
shit.
can it be?
I thought that was
No.
just phone calls.
No, that's my thing. I put it on there one time and I was all like, oh, it'll be a temporary fill-in.
I love
It's
Duke's
never
idea.
really replaced it. Like the only freaking other ringtone music I've bought is like if Gal calls, it plays some sort of like country song about little people. It's okay to be itty bitty. It's okay to be itty bitty. And so like, otherwise, because I'm a dick. Otherwise, I don't buy too many ringtones or anything.
All right, I finally got this shit working. Because I wanted to. So Tara Crystal said, just check the US did trade with 141 billion in the Middle East. Of course, my fucking search isn't wanting to run. And I wanted to look into that because it was about that particular trade route that the Houthis are, I don't know if you call them in control of or just attacking.
Yeah. They sit on the shore and shoot rockets
Suez
at ships.
Canal.
But yeah, I'm complete with Devil there. You know, if they're gonna attack us, I have no problem with bombing them back. You know,
Yeah.
Fuck them. They asked for it.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm with this idea, Brad.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Here's an idea: a NATO swap. We leave, and Ukraine can take our place. Good luck. Agreed.
There you go. Yeah.
I am-
I'll take that
Yeah,
deal
I
right
would
now.
do that deal.
I'm
and then
tired.
Ukraine and
of-
Russia just want to fucking like leave that. Like we helped them out so much. Like fuck them. You know, let Russia do whatever they gotta do now.
I'm fine with protecting the oceans because, like I said, we use free trade too. It does help our country. We're big traders, right, around the world.
Yeah.
But I'm sick and tired of us having to protect every other country,
Yeah.
like be the bully beater of the fucking world and shit. Like every single country in this world, doesn't matter where you are. The idea is if something pops off, America will step in. And I'm sick of that fucking mindset. I want to slap them all and say, get it fucking out of your head. That's not going to happen no
We
more.
can't protect everybody. We have our own fucking problems.
If you can't protect your country, you lose your country. Sorry, that's how it's been since the beginning of fucking time. That's why the Indians ain't fucking wampum around here, right? You couldn't defend your country. You couldn't keep us from taking it from you. You lost it. It's called being conquered. Get used to it, right? It's the same thing around the world. I don't care that, but we've evolved. Kiss my ass. If you have not put enough money in your defense of your country to where people aren't willing to risk the losses to take it, you deserve to lose your country. Plain and simple.
Yes. And this is like even all the where all the money we send them. We're like where'd all that go and the weapons and shit like that. And it's still not enough.
Yeah. The only countries I have an exception for that is a country that is detrimental if we lost it, like Taiwan or whatever. We can't let China take them. That's where we get all of our computer chips. If we lose that, we're screwed because every single missile we shoot has probably hundreds of computer chips from there that make that thing hit exactly where we want. If they take Taiwan, China takes Taiwan, we lose. Our military gets hurt exponentially.
I feel like
we should be making them here, but that's.
I feel like I've been hearing about that like for the past 5 years of how China's going to take Taiwan any minute now. I don't want to say I don't want to jinx it, but
oh yeah, well, don't. No, they say they want it because we want to unite China. We own it. Bullshit. They want it for the computer chips. Taiwan makes the most advanced, best computer chips in the world, and they sell them to us, and they don't sell them to China. And so that's why China wants them. They want the better computer chips. They want the more advanced computer chips. they want Taiwan. And like I said, the only reason I'd protect them is not because I'm like, Taiwan, I love Taiwan. I don't want China to have any more advantage. And because they're the only people in this world we really have to fear. We don't
So
have
like
to fear Russia. Russia's military shit compared to our fucking military.
so if China like does attack Taiwan, you're willing to step in, like, and that would you think that would cause a World War III?
I don't think they would, not till their navy gets a lot stronger. Because the one place America rules over the whole world, and the reason our military has supremacy, is our navy. Our navy is far bigger than any other navy. The only navy that's catching up to it right now, even close, China. They're putting more and more money into their navy, trying to build it up. Right now, they can't compete with us navally.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if we don't start building our navy and our military back up to where it used to be, and making sure that we stay as supremacy of the ocean, they will eventually overtake us. And then, yeah, there's nothing we could do to stop them.
I would like to answer Meteor Timon's thing here. He says, sure, but first fix what you broke with USAID. I have an answer for you that you're not going to like, Timon. USAID was closed just last week, maybe the weekend before. Us fixing what we broke because of USAID was doing that. You don't want us spending money in your countries when with what we've already shown how we do that.
Yeah.
So yes, we left things broken. You guys will have to fix it.
And if you're smart, don't ever take another penny from that kind of shit again. Where
And
they're trying to trans your kids.
What would be really interesting is when Doge gets into the CIA here this week, in this next week or two, and finding out the CIA's role with USAID and maybe what happened in Brazil. That could be interesting. And then maybe another step we could take, which is what I would love to see, would be some sort of prosecutions for the crimes that were committed against the American people and the Brazilian people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the thing is, isn't it funny? China spreads their money amongst other countries, but the reason they do it is to gain influence. They'll go to a small country in Africa and they'll buy them a fishing village, processing plant to process fish, and they'll build a little port.
How they've been doing things with at the Panama Canal.
Exactly. And they'll be like, here, we're giving you this to you. Oh, but we want your mineral rights. That's how they spend their money around the world, by buying influence and buying stuff that helps their country. We spend our money around the world, but instead of buying influence, instead of buying things for our country, we try to gay their kids. We try to push this freaking far left bullcrap on other countries that don't want it. That's what they're spending your taxpayer money on. I'm not saying that I'm not happy with what the Chinese do, but I'm okay if we did it. You know, hey, we give you a little money, our country gets bettered for it. But this bullshit where we're literally robbing taxpayers, robbing the freaking American people, giving it to other countries, and sitting there saying what we want for this, lavish gifts, is for you to tell your kids it's okay to want to cut off their penis. Is that good for you? And so, yeah, don't seriously, you should be happy that closed. You should be like, thank God your stupid ass country is getting the fuck out of our business. That's how you should feel about it, to be honest. Because if they step in to fix shit, it's going to be the same shit. They're going to be like, yeah, we're here to fix shit.
Yeah.
And how about those penises getting cut off? You know, like, so
when it's any country, when it's any government saying we're from the government and we're here to help, don't believe them. Don't believe them.
Even if it's an American government, right? Yeah.
I hate the government, and it doesn't stop with just mine.
Oh, talk about
the government.
Itty bitty.
Oh, yes. Hello, Gal. Hope you're having a good evening.
Hey, Gal.
So Sam, I believe, will be showing up shortly. I've got 3 more topics.
Where's Shock? He's coming.
I don't know. Shark might be taking a nap.
Probably.
What a bitch. No,
He might be sleeping. Oh,
So I was thinking we'll do the Columbia, and we'll save Tesla and Epstein for when Sam gets here.
Are those Epstein files coming out any day soon? They still in our pen bomb these desks?
We'll get there. We'll get there. All right.
Okay.
So we've got Columbia was getting into some shit. Columbia University, that is. We didn't take USAID money voluntarily. Your government did. Your government did. Yeah. It's not like your government said, "Oh no, we don't want that. We don't want you guys doing that."
Yeah. Sorry, your government, just like all other governments, bent over like a cheap whore.
They could have told us no. They said, "Nah, we don't need that.
Yep.
We don't need your shitty gay comic books."
Yes.
So Columbia University caves to demands to restore $400 million from Trump administration because Trump said, "Hey, look, if you don't take care of these students who are protesting against Israel, you're not going to get any money." And you know, there's been a lot of conversation about that. I think the people who are here on student visas, they don't have any right to fucking hand out terrorist paperwork. I don't care. Like that's like that one guy who also happened to have an 8-month pregnant wife, but he's handing out terrorist flyers. I don't care. He can go. He's here on a student visa. He can get the fuck out. He has no rights. You don't get to do that. You don't get to promote anti-American things within our country, right? That's fair.
Yeah. Yep.
Good to me.
Now, I don't think everyone in this picture particularly, it probably falls within that special situation, right? There's probably some actual American citizens who have every right to do this. They're gay, but they get to do it.
That's like seriously, you don't have a right to. We have enough we have enough insufferable assholes of our own as far as kids go. We don't need to import assholes from other country to sit here and tell us we're monsters.
Yes. What, you know what? This is like what I was saying about Tesla and the government subsidies. If it's such a good fucking idea, let it win in the open market. Same thing with higher education. Run it like a business. Don't subsidize this shit. Kids and parents are paying thousands of fucking dollars a year to use these facilities. You're going to tell me you're not making money doing that? Like, you really need the government subsidy?
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. Let's see what else is there. So I didn't necessarily want to go through that whole thing. We've got these people who are now upset at this one's from Devil. These people are now upset that Columbia has decided to cave to Trump's demands.
Oh, they're doing a Nancy Pelosi.
Yes, doing the old Nancy Pelosi.
Graduates of the School of International and Public Affairs chanted "Free Palestine" as they
Tomorrow, they're going to go on their alumni profile and pay the $15 to get a new copy of their diploma.
Yeah. Well, we don't know how many of these diplomas are absolutely fucking useless. Though one or two of those could be of lesbian literature studies of the 1700s.
At least 3.
Yeah, like it's seriously, when you're giving out diplomas that are absolutely not worth the paper they're printed on, who gives a shit if you rip them up, right? None of these people are lawyers. None of these people these are the shitty fucking useless things. It's all just for show. Like you said, they can get a new one printed up if they actually wanted it, but yeah.
What's
So,
the
like,
Hold on. What's the Magnitsky shit? What's the Magnitsky shit? I don't know what that means.
Running and we will
Yeah.
call it even.
He's trying to I don't blame Timon for feeling ripped off. I do not blame Timon for feeling ripped off.
You're not getting our money, Timon.
I don't know what Magnitsky is doing.
You want Monica Lewinsky? Is that what you're saying? We'll send her to you.
We'll send you Monica Lewinsky. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
big.
put a parachute on that chubby bitch and kick her out of plane tomorrow.
Destroyed their sheepskins. It was Alumni Day on campus. The protests are in support of Mahmoud Khalil, the Columbia grad student and protester now held by ICE agents. And they also object to the concessions made to curb protests on campus.
We will continue to rage at this institution until Mahmoud Khalil is free. Until students are free to fight for Palestinian rights and liberation.
Graduates of
Then go over there and fight the war.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
What do you mean
Exactly.
fight for Palestinian rights? To go fucking fight a war.
It's the same thing that Khalil Mahmoud was doing here when he was out there protesting, saying, "I'm here to destroy Western society."
He was just joking.
No, he wasn't.
How are you doing, Sam?
Hey, Sam.
I'm doing okay, guys. How you guys doing?
Good. I see you got your internet back.
I did, and I did not, in fact, watch baseball in the interim because that game sucks.
What?
So you're saying you're not a Yankees fan?
I am not. No.
I tried.
So, okay, Gal says, how about free to study as students, you idiots? Go to class and shut up. Shut up and dribble.
Yeah.
I mean, they could do that, but they're just going to hear the same shit in the classroom that they're spouting on the street, right?
It is a vicious fucking circle jerk, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then she also
Indeed.
has a message for you, Sam.
She loves to say that.
It's like literally, college is about learning, right? That's what it's supposed to be about. When about 10% of it's learning, the rest of it is being insufferable asshole and doing protesting, hanging out with your friends. With how much they pay for it, you think they'd be a little more education in there, but whatever.
And Columbia's Ivy League, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Columbia's one of Ivy.
Like Harvard and
Yeah, Yale, Princeton.
Oxford, Yale, Princeton.
Yeah, I believe Columbia's part of that.
So did you guys know anything about Trump's requests for Columbia? I had a list of them, and they all disappeared.
Was that where he basically said if you're gonna push DEI curriculum, you're not getting any federal funding at all, and they were just like, "Fuck it, we're gonna do it anyway."
Yeah, but so he came out and he gave them a list, and they decided that they were going to listen to his list. One of them, one random thing that I can remember off the top of my head is that if they're doing protests, they're not allowed to wear masks anymore.
I mean, that's fair, right?
I don't have a problem with that one. I hate going to the grocery store. Back in 2020, you go to the grocery store and you see someone wearing a mask, and you're like, "So I'm about to rob this place."
Dude, that is exactly it. So, I work in local government, which means I work with my local PD. And a while back, they acquired a Wells Fargo armored vehicle, right? And then they were converting it into a thing for the SWAT team. And the whole time that it's sitting in the big garage, like I had to go past there like a half a dozen times a day. And we were being government, we were required at that point to wear face masks at all times. And I looked at one of my coworkers as we were passing by this thing one day, and I was like, it wasn't that long ago I'd get shot for wearing a mask near one of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on. You said they got a armored Humvee for the SWAT team. Isn't there like 5 people in your town?
No. I live in a town that's a good deal bigger than 5 people.
12?
A good deal, yeah. I'm not going to say anything specific about it because you can pretty much narrow down where anybody is in Wyoming by population size. So, but yeah, it's not a Humvee either. It's like one of those big ass Wells Fargo like armored vehicles with the kind of the box tank on the back.
Size of your state, they should have a freaking armored Mini Cooper. All you
I
have
mean,
is probably one SWAT team member, right?
Look, here's the thing. We have a lot of money in this state. That's something that people don't think about when they think about Wyoming. But we have at least 3 of the richest counties in the country due to coal production.
Oh, that's true. There
Right.
you go.
We have a lot of money in this state. So they're going to throw it at what they're going to throw it at.
We need a Sherman
I'm
tank.
trying to get the list of Trump's demands for Columbia University here.
Yeah, I hate that with California. California does the same thing. Like on small, little, rural freaking cities that really don't need it, the state will be like, "Yeah, we'll give you this grant so you can buy, like a armored car and this shit." And it's all like, why? How much trouble do you think we get in up here that we need armored car and all this? Like, yeah, it's
I mean,
waste of money. It's just government wasting money.
So you remember the Killdozer?
Yes.
Do
Right.
I?
So there was another incident.
I mean, my next vehicle.
There was another incident near where I live back in like 83 or whatever, where somebody did something similar, but it was a smaller dozer and they were just going on a little rampage or whatever. There wasn't any good reason for it. They were just being dicks. And so yes, it does happen in places like this, these kinds of things where somebody decides, they're gonna armor up and tool around town until they fall into a basement. It's what happens when you drive into a split level and you can't get back out. But yeah, no, these things do happen in places like this. We do have a fair amount of shootings. We have, I mean, the main difference is given the population difference versus say Denver or Chicago or any of that stuff, I'm much more likely to know the culprit where I'm at than I would say in a bigger city. But it per capita, it happens just as much here as it does anywhere else.
I would say that whole Killdozer thing, it's not that you need a freaking armored car or anything. It's that you need to know how to fucking stop them. There are literally explosives you can lay in front of tracks that will take a track off a tank and make it inoperable. Same thing would work for those. They just need to be smarter. Work smarter, not harder.
Right.
So I got the list of demands Trump had. The very first one is to ban the face masks on campus. The next one is empower security officers with arrest powers. So hire 36 special officers as new internal security force with authority to remove individuals from campus or arrest them as deemed appropriate. Adopt a formal definition of anti-Semitism. Huh?
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Which means implement a specific definition of anti-Semitism aligned with federal expectations, potentially including targeting Jews or Israelis for violence or applying a certain double standard to Israel.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the reason for that is because this is the foothold for hate crime laws. This is how it starts with one group.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter that it's Jews, right, that we're talking about here in this particular instance. It could be anything. It does not matter. But this is a first step in a direction we do not want to go. Period.
Did you guys see the glitch in the Matrix that was being sent around today?
No.
Was the thing I sent you?
Possibly. You might have tagged
It was
me
a
in it or something.
black cat. I probably deliberately ignored it.
No, I DM'd to you.
I think so, yeah.
Yes.
Listen to this. Tell me if you've heard this one before.
Oh, God, yeah.
Anti-Semitism is not just an age-old prejudice. It is a contemporary crisis manifesting on campuses across the nation. It is not enough for individuals or institutions to merely claim they are not anti-Semitic. As my father once taught me, it is not enough for people, especially public figures, to be neutral or not be anti-Semitic. One must be anti-Semitic.
Ibrahim X. Kennedy.
Uh-huh.
You gotta be it's not enough to be, not racist. You got to be anti-racist, which means actively not racist, which means going out and punishing other people for being perceived to be racist.
Right.
Yeah.
Crazy talk.
It's the same
Like-
shit we've been putting up with for how long from the other side.
The other
It's-
side. Yeah.
It's literally a glitch of the Matrix. This is fucking deja vu, just in a different costume.
Yep.
But I am, on one hand, I'm happy that the Blues Brothers are expanding their group.
I'm not happy about this at all because look, so there's a rise in people who are against your particular demographic, whatever that is. That happens periodically. We just went through a whole period where white straight dudes were the problem, right? There was a period before that where it was, a couple decades ago where it was, Arabs were the problem because of 9/11. I was like, there's always going to be some group that's more hated on in the moment. That doesn't make you special. That doesn't mean that you get special laws and special fucking protections, period, right? Not everybody's going to fucking like you. Deal with it. The rest of us have to.
So more things on the list. Number 3, adopt a formal. Oh no, I already did that one. 4, overhaul the Middle Eastern Studies Department. What?
For what? To do what?
Place the Department of Middle Eastern Studies, South Asia, and African Studies under the oversight of a new senior vice provost to review and ensure comprehensive and balanced educational offerings, starting with programs like the Center for Palestine Studies and the Institute for Israel and Jewish Studies. Why? What does this? Going to college is to educate you in ways to make money, right?
Yeah.
That's the point. Yeah. Am I mistaken?
Well, yeah, I mean that's the from the point of view of students, that's supposed to be the goal. From the point of view of the state, it's supposed to make productive little cogs and whatnot, according to John Rockefeller. But
okay, fine. Okay, so this is just for brainwashing then.
Essentially, yeah.
To make you more of a cog, not necessarily productive, but at least a fucking cog.
I think this is one of those things where whoever wrote this, whoever put this idea, probably not the best thing. I don't know if it's necessarily for that or just they want to put it in there to make it look like they're doing something, like, oh, look, we put in this study thing. So now, we can make people aware of this stuff. And, we don't need to do that. That's just a waste of money. I like I said, but we can't say it's Trump because he doesn't know what the fuck these people wrote and sent this shit.
He still signed this and sent it.
Yeah,
he signed it. Reform disciplinary process. So revamp the university students' discipline system, including completing proceeding against students involved in protests such as Hamilton Hall takeover in April 2024 with actions like suspension or expulsions. I'll agree with that. If you got a bunch of students who take over a building, they need to go. That's affecting things for the other students who are paying to go there as well. Right? If you're not suspending these kids that are doing these things, why even bother doing anything?
Yeah. I think, look, if these kids want to gather outside with their little signs and shit and their little slogans and whatnot, that's fine, whatever. As long as they're not like obstructing traffic, if they're not preventing people from getting to class, if they're not actively harming anybody, yes. I don't see the issue with that. That's fine, whatever. But it needs to stay outside of the classroom. Period.
That's exactly it. I don't care if you and your friends want to sit in the quad and fucking bitch and moan and belittle annoying. I was gonna say something.
Say it.
Anyway, but that's exactly it. Yeah, but that's exactly it. Don't sit there and freaking trap some Jewish students in a library and not let them out. Like when whoever thinks they have the right to do that, I expel them. Yeah, fuck them. I wouldn't let him do it the other way around either. I wouldn't let a group of
No,
Jewish
exactly.
students
No
crap
one
a
should be
Muslim girl in a
what your
fucking
fucking cause
library.
is. Yeah, I don't care
Yeah.
what your cause is. You shouldn't be harassing other people. You shouldn't be taking buildings hostage. That's
Yeah.
stupid. Who the fuck do you think you are? Number 6 is implement time, place, and manner rules for protests. So we're going to tell you how to protest, when and where.
Who's gonna tell?
That
Trump, the-
I don't. I think that might be a First Amendment issue.
I think so too.
You know, like your right to free association, your right to petition for redress of grievances, your right to free speech, like all these things are covered on. I don't think that they have the right to dictate that.
Now,
Not in a
Yeah,
public
I don't
space.
agree.
right now, going back to like the building takeover, you can't do that. That is against law.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
I'm with you on that. Yeah.
yeah, but like that's not limiting. You still have plenty of other places to protest, but telling them what time they can protest at, that's
You know
kinda
what
weird.
this seems like? Have you ever had that situation where like you do something bad and then the restrictions come on, but they will go way too far? Like they could prevent what you did with one sentence, but it takes the entire page type thing.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You know, like your parents, they catch you smoking. So instead of just saying, don't smoke no more, they're like,
They
you
make you
can't
smoke
go
the
out
whole
after the
carton.
no cigarette.
no, you can't go out after this time. You can't be seen with these people. You can't. They go 12 steps to just prevent when
Yeah,
they
it's a
could
knee-jerk
just sit there.
overreaction.
Yeah, and so that seems like what these are. It's like they're like, instead of just saying, "Hey, no more letting one group of students torture and like, intimidate another group of students." Huh?
Yeah.
They're like, let's
So
make a list, guys, and then they put all this other shit in there that's not needed.
the issue for me in terms of like like government dictating this kind of thing, like because this is on a list that Trump sent to the university, correct?
mm-hmm.
Right. So the problem that I'm seeing is here is that if Columbia takes any portion of federal or state funding, then it becomes public property, right? So the public spaces, the quads, the what have yous. First Amendment rights apply to all of that shit. The only way that stops being a thing is if they stop taking government money, and they call it, they're privately funded or whatever. Then they can do whatever they want. It's private property at that point. But as long as it's publicly funded, they can't dictate how and when and why. As long as it's not in like obviously you don't go through dorms and do that shit. You don't take over buildings and do that kind of thing, because then it becomes. Then it becomes a hostile act. It becomes a crime. But if you're just out, saying your piece in the public, you can say it at 3 in the goddamn morning, and it's still your constitutional right to do it.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
like I'm ardently against Palestine. I hate the fucking idea of it. But here's the thing. I think that those students should be able to stand up in that quad with a microphone saying "fuck."
Now you
Fuck
can't do that at
Israel.
3 in the morning. You can't do the microphone thing at 3.
Well,
in the
that's
morning.
fine. That's noise laws and stuff like that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I think they should be able to do it on principle. They should be able to sit there and say, "Burn Israel, burn," and everything they can negative about Jews. And I wouldn't give a goddamn shit, long as you allow a group of Jews to stand on the other side of the quad and say, "Fuck you for saying that." You
Right,
dumb
because
pieces
that'd be
of
their
shit."
right too.
Yeah.
And
As
but
long
they
as
don't, they don't let them do that. As a matter of fact,
exactly.
if
which
a
is
Jewish
my
person
problem.
ends up in the middle of one of these things,
Yeah.
unknowingly, they how many videos have we seen of them having to like run out of those situations over the last how long has this been now? 2 years now?
Yeah, that
It's a year
kind
and a
of
half.
puts me in a bit more of a skeptical mind about this sort of thing too, because like the way you put it, if a Jewish student just happens to find themselves in the middle of this, but it keeps happening a lot,
Well,
right? Like
I
they're
haven't seen one of the videos in a while, but yeah.
yeah, but you can't tell me that they were all unaware of what they were walking into.
Right.
I'm just saying, and all of that shit got filmed. Come on, but
It's funny that they wanna that they will scream that girls should be able to walk at night in that quad wearing a fucking G-string and not be looked at by a single man. They will freaking freak out, right? If you say any different, you're a pervert and a bigot and an asshole and all these different bad words and shit. But a girl walks across that quad with the Star of David on her fucking neck. She should be able to be harassed, abused, scared out of her mind. It's funny how their fucking, ideology presses them so much on these things, right?
No, I'm with you
They,
on
like
that.
I
Yeah.
said, one thing can be true, and then this can be the complete opposite. The only difference is that girl believes in a different religion, but because of
Right.
that, she shouldn't be protected. She shouldn't be made safe. But the chick walking in a bikini, she definitely should be looked after.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Devil. I was just pointing out that there's shenanigans on both sides, and it's pretty obvious. But I 100% agree with you. Like these students, most of the time, unless they're here on like a student visa or some shit like that, they're American citizens. They have every right, the same exact
vast
rights that
majority
I
of them.
do, and they
Yeah.
should be able to exercise those rights freely. And so you're absolutely right. Just because somebody's wearing a Star of David doesn't mean they should be assaulted. That's, absolutely not. That's an American citizen, and you're fucking with American citizens. You're fucking with my people. I don't give a shit what their religion is.
So we've got 3 more points on this. We've got reform admission process. Personally, if you having to tell the school to do this means you should probably be investigating the school on this particular topic. But this goes to say, review and adjust undergraduate, international, and graduate admissions practices to ensure they are unbiased, and then unbiased is in quotes, and comply with federal law and policy. Through those specifics were not detailed. So maybe Columbia University needs to have some other sort of investigation going on with their admissions process.
Honestly, I think all the Ivy League schools need to be fucking audited from the top down anyway.
They should probably be doing that, like we were saying earlier, every fucking year. Like, they need to make sure that this is being honest, especially with tax money going to these assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love how any United States citizen can be audited at any time by the IRS. Anytime the IRS can come to you and say, open your books and prove, how much you're making, and that you're not trying to keep a penny from us. But yet all these government agencies, all these goddamn freaking, like I said, Ivy Tower schools, all these things, they don't have to worry about that. Isn't that funny? They don't have to worry about people coming to them and saying, we want to see the books open. It's kind of weird.
Oh,
Your private books. Yeah.
So point 8 here. Tell me if one of these things is not like the other. Enhance intellectual diversity. Appoint new faculty to the Institute for Israel and Jewish Studies and other programs to promote excellence and fairness in Middle East studies, aiming for a diverse academic environment.
What the fuck does that mean?
No clue.
Yeah, I don't know. Appoint new faculty to the Institute for Israel and Jewish Studies. What do you mean the Institute for Israel and Jewish Studies?
Why is there an Institute for Israel and Jewish Studies unless it's for, yeah. Like, you don't see an Institute for Voodoo Studies, do you?
It's back to that the cog thing that you brought up earlier is my only guess.
It's like how they have the Young Republican organization and they have Young Democrats or whatever. I'm sure it's the thing, the Jewish students band together and they've got this thing, and so that's a little treat in there for them, more money for their little group to promote, I guess, Israel. I don't. Seems kind of shitty. Israel. Yeah, it that kind of shit annoys the fuck out of me. More money, like I said, if people want to learn about Israel, go learn about Israel. That's what the fucking internet's there for, right? You don't need a fucking taxpayer money to pay for a building for it.
Let's be honest, Israel's one of the very few countries in the Middle East you can travel to as a student and learn about without, fear of being enslaved or murdered, generally speaking.
Right. Okay, Dom, I got the one last point, and we'll let you get going. We'll get you wrapped up on this.
I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're cool. Thank you. Number 9, commit to institutional neutrality. Establish a university-wide policy of greater institutional neutrality, potentially limiting official stances on political issues, developed with a faculty committee.
Should already be
Why
implemented.
aren't they doing that already? The only thing they should be teaching is whatever subject they're supposed to be professors in. They should not be espousing like political views or opinions on whatever. Like that's not what they're there for. They're there to teach a subject. They should stick to that fucking subject. This shouldn't even be a thing that they should have to bring up at all.
Yep.
They'll argue like critical theory.
Critical theory
yeah,
is bullshit, though.
If you're in
I
politics,
know, but they think they're fucking smart and they need that shit.
if
know
you're
what
in
I'm saying?
poli-sci, okay, of course you're going to talk about fucking political crap. That's what you're there for. Otherwise, yeah, this shouldn't even be an issue. It shouldn't be fucking needed to be brought up. What
Well, you can also do it if you're poli-sci. You can do it without choosing a side, without as clearly having a bias to one side or the other, right? Your job is to teach the students how to think about these things critically, right? And I don't mean critical theory; I mean actual critical thinking.
Right.
Your job is
Right.
to teach them how to approach these things, how to analyze and criticize, and how to come to their own conclusions and all that stuff. So what you do, as Star Trek did so well for many, many, many decades, is you present both sides of the arguments and you let the viewer, or in this case, the student, come to their own conclusions.
Yep. Exactly.
So what's going on? Like this is like stuff like Trump and his team like saying to Colombia, and Colombia is saying like, no, we're not going to do this. So they're going to stop their funding to them.
This is the Trump administration saying write something up and have them sign some agreement that to make it look like we're actually accomplishing something. And they sent this piece of shit over there. Like I said, half of it's not necessary. The other half is
a lot of
vague,
bullshit,
and
Sometimes like-
it's personally, like I said, I would just say, look, it could have been done with a phone call. He could have called them and said, or one of his people call him and say, look, if you're not fucking defending students' rights and you're not fucking protecting students from being abused by one group or the other, we're gonna cut off money. Simple, straightforward. Could have been done, but this is them. This is politics, right? They can't do one thing that they can do with 2 sentences. They have to fill out 2 pages. They have to fucking.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You got to throw so much unnecessary stuff in there.
But like,
Squeeze it in.
yeah, like Stack said though, that Trump signed off on it, so he has to take some responsibility for it. But like, he in no way fucking knew what the hell they put in it. It was just this is some college graduate who wrote this shit up, and they're dumbasses. Hopefully, they lose their job.
Trump has a history of being anti-free speech when it comes to protecting the Jewish people.
Yeah, I do agree. Sometimes that is a little piss takes.
He had an executive order which practically made it illegal for government employees to criticize Jewish people.
Back in his first term.
Yeah,
you get it. You want to be Jewish.
There's more to come from that sense.
Okay, when we
and I don't care if you're fucking Jewish. I just hate the state of Israel.
When I don't want to say the word, but when because I don't know if it'll be hit or not. But when we were in high school and dude acted black, we call him a
I know exactly.
What would you call for somebody who wants to be Jewish?
A woo?
Yeah. A woogig? I don't know. Wooish. He's wooish. Damn. A wooish.
Let's let Adam.
That's the other thing.
Trump
is
wants
like
to be Jewish for some reason. I don't know why.
People making a distinction between Caucasian and Jewish is retarded as well. Considering that what like 70% of all the world's Jews are Ashkenazi in some form or another, or Khazar or whatever, which are, by the way, are Caucasian tribes. Like they might have some ethnic Jewishness in them, but they also have white Europeans in them. Like it's stupid to draw that distinction. This happens on both sides of the argument. People who hate Jews and people who just can't get enough of them will both, they're white when it's useful, but they're Jewish when it's not.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll couch this on. I have no problem with Israel. I have no problem with Jewish people on the particular. I just don't think we should give them a shit ton of money, and I don't want to praise them just for being Jewish, if that makes any sense. I don't. It's just like anything else. It's all like, I'm Jewish, great for you, happy, yay, whatever. I don't think it,
Makes
you
me
deserve
want
a
to wander
special.
into a room and be like, I'm German. Hey, praise me.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Guess how
Does that
special
work?
I am. I'm Jewish.
You
Okay.
know? Yeah, no,
So yeah.
I agree. And here's the thing. Like, I should probably clarify this too, because I realize that I kind of come off like an asshat sometimes. I don't hate
So
Jews.
often.
I've never hated Jews. I don't hate, Arabs or Muslims or anything like that. What I hate is the fact that the entire region of the Middle East, Israel included, seems cursed to drown in blood until the end of time, and I think my country needs to have nothing to do with any of them.
Yes. Get out of there.
Like I said
Get
earlier,
out of there.
I hate the government, and it doesn't stop at just mine.
Yeah.
I hate being on
Yeah,
camera.
like there are plenty of other governments I hate too. I'm a real big fan of hating on Brazil's government right now, for example.
Clouds
We've got one of them in the chat. I'm sure he's going to chime in here real soon. Dom, you got to go. Let the people know where they can find you.
You follow me on Twitter, Dominic24. There you go. He posted it.
I got you.
And then usually I'm gaming with you guys on Saturday, or usually on Adam's channel or Horny Elves. And I guess I'll be back here on Mondays, right? Not Tuesdays.
Mondays, yes, Mondays.
Well, bad
Should be Mondays.
Why are you
We're
going to
gonna,
bed?
we're gonna
dude?
keep it. We're gonna keep it this now.
Why are you going to bed? What the hell?
I think I have for work. I think it's super early.
Nappy time or some shit? You're a man.
No.
Fuck that.
I think I got before.
You got to go to work in like 4 hours. Leave the man alone.
Yeah, in 4 hours. Yeah.
4 hours. Jesus Christ. Okay, go get your teddy bear and your blankie, you fucking little bitch. just playing with you, man.
Hey, at least I'm here. We're
Night.
shocked.
That's
I don't know. I think Shock might be sleeping.
Yes.
And you know what's interesting is he's made it. Well, actually, I don't know. He wasn't here last Tuesday because I know he has obligations on Tuesdays that makes him unable to join us most of the time.
No, I think he did. He popped in late. I think he did, didn't he?
You know what? He might have been late last week and the week before.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
To be honest, Shock's thing.
So yeah, you can catch me on all those things. All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Have a good one.
Later,
I'll see you around.
Night.
So we're gonna do
Epstein. I think is what's
I'm saving Epstein for last. But we got this interesting video here. This happened in my home state.
This is video of a Tesla attack in Flagstaff last week. It shows a green car pulling up next to a Tesla on busy Route 66, then swerving in front to box the vehicle in. The driver then walks over to the 61-year-old woman in the Tesla and reportedly starts hitting her while she's behind the wheel.
I started to
see, and they can't sit there and say they can't stop this shit. They have this person's license plate. When they're pulling away, you can clearly see the license plate. They blur it out. There's no way they can't freaking find this dude, right? The cops should be at this asshole's door right now, arresting him for assault, battery, and all this other shit.
It's sure. Stupid. So I don't know if they've got him. I'm sure they did because they have the license plate. You could even see like they blur out the license plate later in this video, I believe.
They should
and you see the fucker. You actually see like his face and everything in this video. So it shouldn't be too hard to find him as long as that's the car that he's driving is actually his. But yeah, unhinged, completely unhinged over because someone drives a car. This is like, is this going to be what gets written down in the history books as like a pivotal moment before the Civil War started? The hot Civil War?
I think they're certainly trying to start one. I don't know if it's gonna fly. But yeah, it certainly seems like they're trying to start one. But man, they tried this shit 4 years ago too.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
People were shot and killed 4 years ago, and it never escalated to that. Yeah, like you guys remember that time? I'm trying to remember where that was. I want to say that it was in Indiana or some shit like that. But this chick was walking over a bridge, had a MAGA hat, and some guy came up behind her and blew her head off.
I remember hearing about that happening in Portland over the summer of 2020.
Maybe it was Portland. I might have got the location wrong, but I mean this kind of thing was happening then, and it never kicked off like we all thought it was going to. You know,
Yeah.
and part of that I think is because these Antifa pussies, these guys who were going out starting this shit, they are in fact pussies. Like this guy, he beats up an old woman, right? He's not taking on a grown ass man. He's not taking on somebody who's probably more than capable of handling themselves in a fight.
Are we heading into Summer of Love?
I absolutely think so. Yeah, we're heading into Summer of Love 2.0.
Do we get 4 of them this time?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Sorry, go ahead. No, it's just it's basic bitch terrorism, right? These are absolute bullies. It is terrorism. Well, like what's going on is terrorism. They are trying to affect political change by scaring the crap out of and harming people, right? That's the very definition of it. That's what's happening. But this is like the basic bitch level where the second they're confronted head on, they are going to back down. They've done it before. They'll do it again, right? This isn't like a guy who walks into a bank with a bomb strapped to his chest kind of shit. This is, oh, I think I'm going to get away with it, so I'm going to do this one little thing. I'm going to key this car. I'm going to slap this old woman around,
Right. So
I'm going to shoot up this lot where nobody's at to stop me.
So this is one of 2 old women that this happened to in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is a hippie college town in Arizona. Apparently they're both getting gun training now. Because like Savage says here, in this instant, she would have her rights to brandish.
Yeah.
Had to popped his ass in the face.
In Wyoming, she'd have been well within her rights to shoot him dead right there in the street.
Could you imagine just someone coming up to your car and just starts beating you in the face? Fuck you, dude.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big line between public outrage and civil war starting. Would it happen? Will it happen? Can't say. It's possible. Right now, like you said, it's this bottom bitch terrorism bullcrap. But how quick before it escalates to something that could actually cause, I don't know. Do we think a summer of love? I think we've still been in one. You guys act like this political violence has ever stopped. Even when they were in power, they were committing political violence against the other side.
They take
This is just crazy ass leftist being crazy ass leftist. We're either going to have to accept it or we're going to have to start passing like rules that prohibit this. Like, that's why I say they should perp walk this asshole. They should have this asshole on local news being dragged out of his house in his skid mark tidy whities, fucking crying like a little bitch and getting fucking a big ass fucking sentence. Because the reason you have those jacked up sentences is so it says to every asshole who thinks of doing it afterwards, don't do it. It's the reason the sentencing, remember when Bill Clinton, he had the 3 strikes thing. The 3 strikes was specifically to stop the crime spike they had in New York City from happening in other cities and stuff like that across the goddamn country, because crime was getting out of fucking hand. So they went and said, you know what? We're going to have this 3 strike law. You fuck up once, you get a large prison sentence. You fuck up again, you get a larger prison sentence. You fuck up again, you're never getting the fuck out of that place. You might as well kiss your goddamn life goodbye. We need not a 3 strike law, but we need that kind of sense of things. We need something that shocks these leftist assholes, because right now they feel like they can get away with it.
Well, we already have
the whole buy, get out of jail free pass that Kamala Harris and stuff were supporting and shit. We need to fucking have it where that asshole spends the next 10 years in prison. You may be like, oh, 10 years for attacking a little old lady? That seems a little harsh, don't you? No, we need it. Why? Because it tells the next asshole, don't fucking do it. So, yeah, I think...
Devil, we already have a rule that can solve all of this. What we need to do is cut all the fucking red tape around it. Constitutional carry, my man.
Well, yeah, but they're never going to give us that. All right. pipe
Well,
dream much?
honestly,
It's
there
here
is
in
a way around
Arizona.
that. We
No,
there,
certain
yeah,
states,
we
yes,
have it here.
absolutely. That's
No,
why I
no,
want to move to Texas. But you're never going to get that countrywide, and that's
that's
what
what I'm
needs to be.
saying. People need to ignore those laws. They literally cannot arrest all of us for obeying for going along with the Constitution. They can't. Every law that is passed that restricts the Second Amendment in any way is 100% unconstitutional and therefore null and void. If everybody in the country starts carrying, they can't do shit to stop that. And if everybody in the country is carrying, bitch bullies like this are not going to pull up on old grandmas. They're going to get their heads blown off, and they know it.
I would like to think that's the case. I don't think it is. One, because there are plenty of people who are gun enthusiasts who own firearms who don't want to openly carry. They don't want to carry their firearm all the time. You have certain ones that will, absolutely. And then you have the ones who don't either own a firearm or the far left or leftists in particular
Well,
who
sure.
are scared of firearms because they're black.
But that's
and
the
scary.
thing about it is if everybody's
You
carrying,
can't get everyone.
but
to
if
do it.
everybody, if the majority is carrying, right, the average person isn't going to know who has one and who doesn't have one. They're not going to be willing to take the risk.
But what they will do is I'll tell you exactly what the left will do with that. They'll say, sure, you guys do that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to catch you guys open carrying without a license. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take away your right to carry your firearms ever again. And
But
that's
that
how
ruins the
you
whole
start
point of
taking
what-
away people's Second Amendment rights.
But that ruins the
They'll
whole point
find
of
a way
what
to
Sam
strip
said
them
with
from
the
you.
Constitution, with making it so that it's constitutional carry. If there's constitutional carry, you don't need the fucking
No,
license. To
exactly. But you're jumping a step. He's saying if everyone who has a gun now goes out in the street with it on their hip, they can't arrest us all. And I said they don't need to. What they're gonna do is use that as a way to strip people who do carry legitimately and are responsible with their firearms of their ability to have a firearm. They want you to. Are you kidding? The left wants you to take that step because then they will sit there and say, look at all these crazies out there with guns. We have to now take away your guns. You're like I said, it may work out the way you think, but it also may backfire. And a lot of people who are good, honest Americans who have a firearm to protect their family will lose their right to do so because the left will use it as an opportunity to strip them of their second.
Which may be a bridge too far, which brings, there is a solution to that too. I'm just hesitant to say it on someone else's channel.
And Steve, it doesn't happen tomorrow. It happens Wednesday on the 2nd, but you should still expect that dip tomorrow as a precursor for the 2nd. So yeah, this is another thing that happened. Albuquerque GOP headquarters targeted in alleged arson, direct assault on our values. There is an image of where they put ICE equals KKK.
Really? Because last I checked, when the KKK grabbed somebody, they didn't let them go.
Yeah.
Good point. They didn't take them back home.
No, they turned them into Christmas ornaments, man. Come on. It's not the same.
And once again, they completely lose the irony that the KKK, every single one of them were Democrats.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Yeah, and that's the thing about that is like, I love how they assume that there's this like vast network of like super racists running everything, right? It's like the actual numbers of the current KKK right now of like actual card carrying members of the KKK are something like 12,000 out of 250 million people. It's there aren't that many of them, man, and they all kind of live in the same area. So,
yeah, they're this boogeyman that they want you to be scared of. When, literally, the only thing that's would raise the KKK's membership is the left. That's who's doing it. Why? Because you take a fucking stupid kid in rural Georgia or some shit. Some white kid who's not racist, was born into this world, and you take him and you say you're racist because your skin color, you're sexist because your penis, you freaking bigot because you're straight. What do you think happens? Those crazy racist bigot assholes seem a little better to that kid. They make more racist than we ever have. That's just a fact.
Well, yeah, that's because they take those kids in to give them a place to belong. They treat them like people.
Yeah.
Right.
You make them
Which
feel
sounds
like
funny.
shit.
But yeah, that's exactly what they do. That's actually how they recruit, was they make you feel like you're a part of something that cares about you. It's the same thing with like cults and gangs and shit. You know, they always start off like that. The bad shit doesn't happen till later. You know, and if you put enough pressure on a kid just because, you know, they're like, you know, white or Southern or whatever, they're going to run straight into the arms of the first people who are going to welcome them in. And if they happen to be wearing white fucking sheets on their heads, that's kind of on you for pushing them in that direction. Kids are impressionable. They're retarded. You know, maybe don't do that.
Yeah. You tear people down. There's always somebody who will be like, I'll lift you up. And sometimes their intentions aren't the purest.
And as Cloud mentions, it's not white sheets anymore. It's black sheets, thanks to Kanye.
You know,
black is the new
I always
white.
thought that Dave Chappelle skit about the black Klansmen who hated hated black people.
What's his name? Oh, you're gonna kill me now.
I forget, but I always thought that was like the most absurd fucking idea in the world. Yeah, until Kanye West, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? You know, he's going around. He's saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hang out with the Groypers. I'm gonna wear this KKK outfit. I think Hitler was onto something. I was like, you realize that every one of those people wants to see you dead, right? I mean, they'll use you as long as they can, but they will kill you in the end.
I actually showed somebody in the restaurant that skit like before this happened the other day, because he's all, do you ever think like if a black man was blind he would be racist? I was all, are you talking about the Dave Chappelle skit? He's all, what? And so I actually showed him it in the restaurant, which was probably the stupidest thing because my boss heard, you know, the N-word being said all the time on that thing. He'd probably busted my ass.
Yeah, that was my favorite part, Steve, was the bit where he divorced his wife because she was an N-word lover.
Oh, dude, by far my favorite part is when his friend's coming out of the gas station. And he's all, damn monkey was beating on my hood.
How old was the kid that you had to show that clip to? He had to have been young.
No, he's older than me.
What?
No, dude, it wasn't a kid. He's one of the few guys in the restaurant that's actually older than me. And I was all like, you've never seen that Dave Chappelle skit. It was floored me. So yeah, I played it for him. Like I said, you hear all the words being thrown out. I'm all like, oh, shit.
Back when Dave Chappelle, you know, told jokes instead of lectures.
Yeah.
So I've got one last topic for the evening. Good old Jeffrey Epstein stuff.
Yay.
What was it? It was about a month ago. Pam Bondi was out there on Fox News saying how she's got all this nasty stuff and she's going to release to the world. And then we just got a bunch of binders to a bunch of stupid gay influencers. And then as of late, we've got Alina Habba, who has nothing to do with any of this, saying that the FBI has terabytes and like 14 terabytes of data, and it's all going, the FBI is all going through it right now, and it's going to be released. And then she got sworn in as some sort of lawyer for New Jersey by Trump himself. And then today we got this post from Virginia Roberts, aka Virginia Guffrey or Jufrey or whatever, however you say it, who is like the number one witness and victim in all of this Epstein stuff. She had this to say: "This year has been the worst start to a new year, but I won't bore anyone with the details." Imagine thinking that and looking like this. But I think it's important to note that when a school bus driver comes at you driving at 110 kilometers as we were slowing for a turn, that no matter what your car is made of, it might as well be a tin can. I've gone into kidney renal failure. They've given me 4 days to live, transferring me to a specialist hospital in urology. I'm ready to go, just not until I see my babies one last time. But you know what they say about wishes: shit in one hand and wish in the other. And I guarantee it's going to be shit at the end of the day. Thank you all for being my wonderful people and the world, and for being a great part of my life. God bless you all, Virginia.
Yeah. So this whole situation, it's possible that this is just, a traffic collision, right? It is possible. It's also possible that it's not, but that then you get into like weird, unprovable territory there. But what got me was some of the responses on some of the guys who were reposting this stuff. Some of the responses were like, "Oh yeah, it's a fake bruise. Oh, there's no swelling, all that." And I was like, first of all, zoom in on a picture. There's a pretty good eggshell coming in under her left eye. Secondly, why would you say that about somebody who's already been through so much shit, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that I don't think we're gonna see at this point.
So
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Fair enough. I just want to note that 110 kilometers per hour equals 69 miles per hour. A school bus was going that fast.
Yeah, that lends credence to this was not
Hillary
just
Clinton always drives fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
This was not just this is something we all learned in high school. When a traveling object traveling at 69 miles per hour, it actually doubles that amount of miles per hour for the actual impact, which turns things into pace.
Yeah. Imagine a school bus.
So, and that's assuming she wasn't traveling at a equivalent speed, because then it quadruples and everybody's dead.
If she was up against a brick wall, it would have literally tin canned her car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would have been accordioned. It would have, No, they, I don't know if I could believe it, but this also could be her witness protection shit, man. Could be them trying to, because they do want to friggin' prosecute, and they don't want Hillary getting at her.
So,
like
speaking of Hillary and
fake death,
Bill, I have some video footage of Donald Trump from 2017 from his inauguration lunch. For the first one.
I'll tell you, there is something that I wanted to say, because I was very honored, very, very honored, when I heard that President Bill Clinton and Secretary Hillary Clinton was coming today. And I think it's appropriate to say, and I'd like you to stand up. I'd like you to stand up.
She actually didn't look bitchy in that, from what you could see of her. So she was appreciative of him being appreciative.
Yeah, she just had a fresh fix of adrenochrome. That's what it was.
So I don't know. I don't think Trump is going after any of these Epstein people. Because this would have taken place after Trump has supposedly already been the only one who the lawyer had reached out to that was willing to help out. You guys hear about that? There was a lawyer who was working the Epstein case that he contacted all these people, and Trump was the only person that was willing to help and actually provided information, and the lawyer said was an excellent source. But we're getting this.
Here's the thing. Trump, I've said this before, that I believe the reason Trump didn't do the lock her up thing that he was promising, and that everyone really wanted, was because he was told you have to go get along to, get along, move. What's the word? God damn it, I'm fucking retarded. He was told, don't go after her. If you go after her, the Democrats won't work with you. You'll cause a bunch of waves. You have to play nice. You have to, play the game type thing. And I think the first time he believed that. I don't think he does now. I don't think there's no, this idea. He doesn't have in his head that they're going to all of a sudden go, whatever you want to pass, we're going to work with you. We'll work with you. We'll be your buddy. Don't worry about it. I think he's a little more clear about how politics work. They lie straight to your fucking face. So I don't know if he'll give as much grace as he did last time with stuff. There could be arrests. Do I think everyone who should be? No, definitely not. There's not going to be that entire list of guys getting arrested. I already mentioned it's just like Brad will tell you. It's not about what you know. It's about what you can prove. All those guys on that Epstein list, you can sit there and say they went to the island, they're bags of perverts, and they probably touched children. The problem is unless you have tape, unless you have a complainant, somebody said, that's the man who touched me, you can't do shit about it in court. So they're not going to arrest everybody on the list as much as we want them to. But I would love to see a couple of these big, rich, powerful assholes who've always assumed that they're untouchable and they can get away with anything actually being brought down and having to face consequences. It'd be beautiful. And I don't think Trump's against that. It's just like I said, can it be proven? And the government shouldn't waste money trying someone when there's not even a single chance in hell of getting a conviction. As much as I would love to see them embarrassed, as much as I'd love to see them, look stupid, it's not worth the millions upon millions upon millions. It would take a taxpayer money just to embarrass them for a day.
That's fair. We still have Diddy in jail. What's going on there?
Not enough, man. Look, the fact is back with when the Epstein thing dropped and everybody was, finally informed as to what exactly was going on that little island of his. It was floated around then that his was not the only island. His was not the only place where this sort of thing happens. He was one of, maybe half a dozen operations around the world that was doing this sort of thing, that was currying influence for perversion.
I think Nexium.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah. It could have, and I think that Diddy's was just another one of those places. And I think for everyone that gets taken down, one or two more pop up somewhere else that we don't know about. The only way that this shit gets rectified is if all the names are released to the fucking public and the government steps back and lets nature take its course. That is the only way this happens.
Yeah. I've said it since the beginning. I've always thought freaking Jeffrey Epstein was a honeypot for the CIA. I think the CIA said, we're going to give you a shit ton of money.
Mossad,
yeah,
baby.
We want you to go out there, get all these billionaires to compromise themselves by sleeping with kids on your fabulous island, and then give us the tapes so we can blackmail them and make them do whatever we want. Who controls the money? Controls everything. The only reason they let him go down was because I think he stopped giving them the tapes. I think he said, why am I doing this for you when I can have all the power from it? Why am I giving over all this information?
Oh yeah, he definitely got uppity.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just get rid of you then.
He definitely got uppity.
Diddy, I think it was because he was getting cocky.
Yeah. That, and they could I don't know if they've ever definitively proved anything, but there are links to Diddy in several murders too. So,
yeah, wouldn't that be interesting if like some Biggie shit came out or something? That would shake some people to their cores. Unfortunately,
look, man, I'm not for nothing. Not for nothing. Suge Knight is ruthless, but he is not smart enough to pull off the empire that he built by himself.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about that in particular. Not the right persuasion there, but yeah, there's just a lot of questions that aren't getting answered, and a lot of this weird like teasing, which is really fucking weird that you would do something with that kind of information. Like either say something or say nothing at all. Like, why are you like?
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that at all. Yeah, I don't think they should have said anything at all, because now we're all sitting here like, well, what the fuck? What are you doing about it? What exactly are you doing about it? And the obvious response that I keep hearing is, oh, well, it takes time to build a case. Okay, so why did you announce to the public that you were building a case? Won't that just give them time to hide the evidence and run away? Like, what the fuck? Why would you have announced that at all then if you were building a case? If you weren't building a case and you had something definite, why didn't you release it when you fucking
The
said
only
you
way
would?
at this point you have something
Yeah.
definite is if you've got the video footage and that shit is a dead fucking ringer,
Mhm.
and it's not the sketchy stuff that I might have seen on the internet a few years ago. You know what I mean? Like there's some
Yeah.
stuff with some cameras that might have been on the island with some photos that were taken that might have had some weird shit that I might have seen. Involving in
Yeah.
particular feminine Clinton even is being reported, and all of that stuff. I don't think that blurry shit is enough to get any sort of conviction on anything.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. I don't think you're gonna see arrests, and I certainly don't think you're gonna see convictions, not on any serious or worthwhile scale. I think Devil's absolutely right about that. Even in terms of like how much it's gonna cost, and it's not worth the cost, and all this stuff. And I just don't think that they have enough on that. So, personally, yeah, I think the government needs to release all of the information and step the fuck back and let nature take its course. We're never going to see justice for this. No one is ever going to get justice for
Unless
this,
those
but they
parents who
might
lost their kids.
they might see some
Unless
vengeance.
those parents who lost their kids know.
Yeah. There's I don't think justice is the idea behind justice is to make things right. I don't think you can make this right. So I think we're going to have to settle for vengeance.
You'll never make something like that right. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're right. The vengeance of the consumer would be the best way. Like if we had footage of Bill Gates touching children, no one's going to buy a freaking,
Yeah, vengeance of the consumer.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about, YouTube. That's exactly what I was saying.
But here's, I would love to see him swing, but that's not going to happen either. He can hire plenty of people to protect him. The thing is you're also, I think that he's restrained by the fact that he's afraid of what that'll do to the economy. If there really is that many titans of industry on this list as we think there probably is, or know there probably is, this could dramatically hurt the economy. And I think that might be if Trump's trying to protect the economy and shit, his people might have came to him and said, look, if you take this out there and these Fortune 500 companies all of a sudden get hit because their CEOs are under arrest, it might hurt the economy. That also might be a reason that they're trying to hold this shit back. But I agree, they should just put it out there. Fuck all that. Just let us know who's the sickos.
If it sends us back to the Stone Age and we have to rebuild society because everything collapsed on account of all of this stuff, I'm actually fine with that, so long as the new society is built atop the gravestones of these sick fuckers.
Yeah. On a mentioned small time Republic here, he says Trump always tries to avoid talking about it. He knew the guy. I think he doesn't want his name leaked. So there's two parts to that. There's the side where if Trump was involved in the Epstein stuff, that would have been announced within the last who knows how much time, the last 4, 6, 8, 12 years. That would have been known. Now, if they couldn't let it be known because of how twisted everything is and how interconnected everyone is with this whole situation, then that means Trump being president means fuck all, because he's just one of these dirty fucking bastards, and everyone is celebrating a man who is a piece of shit who should be in hell.
No,
I'm just saying if that's the case. If that's the case, that's what this is.
You're 100% right. If they had Trump's name on a goddamn list, it would have been leaked immediately. All the steps they've done to try to bring that man down. Do you really think that if they had his name on a Jeffrey Epstein list and they had any witnesses against him, that they wouldn't have brought that out? He'd be the only person on the list who would be tried. Even if they had to sacrifice 1 or 2 other people to make it happen, if there was some interlink, like, oh, he went there at the same time as this guy and that might bring down, they would sacrifice anyone to stop Trump. Are you kidding me? That's how you know he's the one guy who's not on the list, because he wasn't. tried for
Yeah.
it. So
I'm in
yeah,
that camp.
and
I'm
inclined to
personally in that
agree,
camp.
Devil.
the Republic.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with that, but I'm also with that. Like, if it comes out and if it is 100% without a shadow of a doubt proven that Trump was one of these guys, then he needs to go down with the rest of those fuckers.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I wouldn't even second guess it. Anyone on that list, like I said, if we had a magical way of proving every single one of them true, I would say take every one of them behind it and bring back firing squads. I'm completely okay with that.
Maps and walls go together like peanut butter and jelly.
This Epstein stuff has been going on for 12 or 13 years at this point. We've gotten nowhere except for a dead Epstein. And then somehow Maxwell is still in prison and breathing, as far as I know. But yet,
Maxwell's not cooperating. She's
yeah,
keeping
we
her
don't
mouth
know.
shut.
These are the most prolific child traffickers ever to be known to mankind. And we don't have a single client.
Outside of the Middle East.
Well, I did say prolific. That does require a bit of popularity.
I'm just saying, Saudi Arabia's been doing this shit for
Right.
1,000 years.
They're just not very popular.
Dude, did you see that fucking nasty ass video where they made the boys dance for him?
Yes. Which one?
No.
Oh god, like I saw it the other day. There's like these young boys doing this dance. I'm all like, what the fuck kind of gay crap? And then I read the fucking actual thing, and yeah, it's they make them Saudi. I believe it's Saudi Arabia. They make these boys go in this tent and they dance for them, and then they fucking auction off the kids to the perverts.
Yes. Sometimes they sample them first. It's ugly. It's real fucking ugly out there.
Respect all cultures. Fuck that.
I'm of the camp that, look, if your culture or if your people or if your government or if your, like local fucking librarian harms children in any way, they are an enemy of the species and the future of the species and need to be removed. Period.
100% agree. If you're
And on that happy note,
if you're a sick enough person that you would hurt something innocent like a child, there's nothing you won't do. There's no line you won't cross. You don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve to be on our earth. Sorry.
No, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, that kid is going to be fucked up forever if he survives, if she survives. However, you also just fucked up their entire genetic line and the future of their family, right? Which messes with the gene pool, which messes with the future of the species.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You invited us on.
I didn't know we were going to talk about.
You know who I was when you picked me up, dude.
Yeah.
Excuse me for forgetting about the Saudis' cultural endeavors. I don't even know.
My channel's still up. Stop crying.
Why can't they just be like the rest of them and enjoy the goats? Like,
have you seen those goats with the fat asses? Oh, like what the hell? Like
that's really more of a West Bank thing.
And on that note,
so where do these goats live? Middle East. Oh, there we go. Let me be born as a cockroach before the big ass goes.
And like I made the disclaimer earlier about Jewish people and not hating all of them. I don't hate all Arabs or Muslims either, and not all of them are out fucking like sheep or little boys or whatever. There's plenty of them who are not doing those awful fucking things. But it can't be denied that those awful things are in fact occurring.
you shouldn't have to say not all Arabs, not all Jews. You shouldn't have to say that.
I had to do the same thing earlier, Sam. I had to do the same explanation. I don't hate all people.
I have to say this shit out loud because I'm friends with a couple of Muslims and people will ream my ass later.
Have to say, so okay, your Muslim friends, they'll tease you or whatever.
They might drop a plane on my house, dude.
You know what? That's what you get for hanging out with what's her face.
When there's only 7 houses in the city, it's they have 1 in 5.
She seems angry, so I could see why that might happen.
Yeah, I'm just Amir. If you see this, I am just teasing. It's fine.
Oh shit, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Crap.
Who else do you think was gonna?
Yeah.
She's
The hijabi gamer? I don't think so.
I don't know if I want to go on
Yeah,
Abyssal
Hijabi
Musings this
Gamer
week.
is
She's
not as
feisty,
hardcore
but
as Amir is.
not dropping a plane on your house.
Yeah. No, not send her uncles to fit me with this special exploding outerwear.
Samael, devil, I heard what you say.
Yeah.
Oh no. You didn't hear nothing.
And on that note, before she kills you, Sam, how about you let people know where they can find you and what you got going on?
I will definitely be on her channel when she goes live this weekend, so you might be the end of me. But also, so after this, I've got to do I got to do a live stream on my own channel that I meant to do last week, but the whole internet kerfuffle kind of fucked up. So I'll be doing a live stream here shortly after we end here. And then I don't think I have anything else until Friday. We should be back with Abyssal Musings. Larry's back in town. Internet's up and running. So we're definitely having a show back on Beelzebub right after that. Screaming to the Void on Saturday. Amir's channel shortly after that. Exiled Lioness 2. And I think Adam is back next Monday. So we'll be over on Mellow Mondays next Monday.
He's got his Sunday show and everything back. So
yeah.
So yeah, go sub to Sam's channel. He's going live right after this.
Thanks for having me.
And Devil, what have you got going on?
Nothing. Yeah, I mean, like the pub. I'll be on everyone else's channel during the week. Normal stuff. I'm pushing the get ranked hottest redheads in pop culture list back probably till after Vegas. I need to get everyone together, and there's very particular people I want to get. So I'm waiting for some people to still get back to me and stuff like that. So it's just easier to do after Vegas than try to get it before. And we're still doing Make Me a Sandwich. It's still going on. I know it's been taking a long time since I've been promising this. It's just we're trying to get everyone in place, and that's very, very hard. But yeah, check my channel out. Subscribe.
Everyone go sub to Devil if you haven't already.
Yeah, be my friend.
I'm
very lonely, man.
Be my friend, please.
Yeah. Please clap.
I don't know if I'm going to stream video games this week. I might. I'm still playing Atom Fall, which is good. I just got distracted because I'm working on another random project. We've got the weekend pregame where we're going to talk about Hooters will reinstitute a re-Hooterization with big change to the restaurant. This is a company that went bankrupt, and now they're trying to make a comeback. We're going to talk about that.
I don't know how they do.
We've also got The Mask. There's this online person who's been ranting about Donald Trump and Elon Musk that I brought a couple weeks ago. Well, she's famous now, and she's got a bunch of clips. So we're going to watch all of those. And we've got the usual retards and whatever the hell else crazy shit might come up between now and then.
Did you see that crazy lady did another video? The one that looks like Joker's
That's the one
grandma?
I'm calling The Mask.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
the one? Okay. Oh,
She's
my
got like
God. I
4
was seeing there
videos
like,
now.
oh, shit. Yeah, she scares the shit out of me. Vengeance will be mine. And so, what the fuck? Oh.
But yes.
Bus drivers are getting freaky.
Plenty of weird, cringy shit to look at this Thursday. So make sure you eat before you get there. Until next time, have a good one. No outro. So wave awkwardly. Bye.